Yeah, I'm curious to see how it's going to go today. Very curious.
Dans sa robe, elle rayonne, lumière de velours. Dans sa robe de jour feutrée, elle dessine mouvement parfait, douceur de l'âme.
Give me 2-3 minutes, we'll get started here.
Souffle calme. Allez enchanter par la grâce et la beauté, merveille du jour. Dans
Touching my chest to the floor, I honestly have no idea. No idea if I can do that. I'd have to try. Maybe we'll try today. I don't know if I want to put that much pressure on my elbows and shoulders. I don't know. I don't know. We're going to find out. Maybe. I am also in the middle of a bout of probably the worst indigestion I've ever had. There's a lump in my chest. It just will not move right now. Will not move. That's trying to touch the floor like that is so much pressure on the elbows and shoulders. I don't know about that one. I'd love to get that range of motion back. I would love to be able to get that range of motion back. But time will tell. Got a new shirt. Sleep, eat, walk, repeat. Wife, you got me this shirt yesterday. Feels weird. Feels weird being at 4 o'clock again. Feels very weird being at 4 o'clock again, but I actually dig it. I dig it. I'm actually curious if we're going to see Rom tonight. There's potential for a Romsworth sighting. I feel like I have indigestion so bad. Right now, which is also wild because I haven't eaten in 30 hours. You ever get indigestion, acid reflux so bad that you're like congested, like nasal congestion? Like that's the point I'm at right now. If I sound nasally, that's why. But I'm going to try and go as long as I can. I feel like I'm going to lose my voice, honestly. But we'll see what happens. We got a lot of cool stuff to look at. Is it cheese or eggs? No, I've been locked back the fuck in for days. I have not eaten since 11 a.m. yesterday was my last meal. 11 a.m. So 24, 25. We're right about 29 hours right now. Coming up on 30 hours. And my last meal was 360. Oh, my last meal you saw. I put my last meal I had before the fast in the Discord. But it's getting bad. This has been like progressing for like 2 or 3 days now, and I might go back on pantoprazole. I might call my doctor and get the pantoprazole back because this is like insufferable. This feeling of just like lump in the throat, lump in the chest, gurgly, nonstop like trapped burps in the chest, and just nasally and congestion. My face feels warm and blah. It feels like I can't even get a full breath in. I just checked my O2. My O2 is 99%, so we're looking good there. But I might be making a phone call tomorrow to get my pantoprazole back because I cannot go like I am right now. And there's no reason it should be happening. No reason it should be happening on a fast either is the crazy part. I just took some over-the-counter stuff. We'll see if that helps, but it's really not looking like it. All right, I'm very curious to see this Guga video. We're going to check out Guga first, his 10-year steak study in 19 minutes. Let's give this a watch.
Cheap steak better. But the real question is, how effective are they? There are many ingredients that can make a cheap steak better. But the real question is, how effective are they? And are they really worth your time? After 10 years specializing in steaks, I've learned a lot. And today, I'm gonna let you know what actually works based on real-life experiments.
The continuous bile drip, yeah, that could be a large part of it.
Naturally rich
that could be a large part of it.
Packed with glutamates, aka MSG, that boosts savory flavor. It makes steaks taste richer, deeper, and more aged.
God, I wish I could cook a steak like he does.
When you wrap it on steaks, it gently pulls out moisture, concentrating flavor and adding saltiness. This one, for example, is dry. First, you want to soak it in milk, then it becomes pliable. To use it, wrap the combo around the steak and put it on your refrigerator to age. I would say leave it anywhere between 2 hours to 24 hours, depending on the intensity you want. Be careful though, because if you leave it for too long, it's gonna start having a weird seafood taste, and you don't want that.
Yeah, you don't want a seafood steak.
And you go ahead and you cook your steak, you are left with something incredible. Because remember, MSG is made out of a kombu, so this gets a 9 out of 10. Yep. it's pretty good. And this is hondashi. It's an instant Japanese dashi powder made from fish and seaweed, which means it's very easy to use. It's packed with umami, so it quickly boosts flavor without a lot of effort. It adds a deeper, more rich, savory taste to steak, making it more enjoyable. You don't want to abuse it. If you want to put it directly
Don't
on
want
the
to
steak,
abuse it as he
you
pours
can,
the
but
literal
don't
mountain on top of
overdo
that
it.
steak.
As you can see on this experiment, I did a little bit too much because I wanted to feel the flavor. But after learning on how to use this properly directly on the steak, you just want a tiny bit. But if you want to have an incredible experience with hondashi, but not having to guess the amount you need to put, try using it in a compound butter. Just mix 75% butter and 25% hondashi, making a compound butter. Then once your steak is fully cooked, go ahead and use it right.
Well, yeah,
on top of
surf
the
and turf,
steak.
but
It
then
will
you got a little
dissolve easily,
separation
so
of
it
church and
blends
state,
into
you
the
know what I
meat
mean?
Without any effort. It will improve.
You don't just want to
any
order a steak and have it
especially
taste like tuna.
inexpensive cuts. Just remember one thing: don't overdo it, because if you do, your steak is going to taste fishy.
There's just a
for
lump
that
in my
reason, because
throat,
you gotta
like,
be careful
right
with
here.
it, I'm giving it an 8 out of 10.
Oh,
And
it's,
this
like, painful
is
to the
ginger.
touch. I'm
It is
wondering
a
if I'm
fresh
starting to have
root with
thyroid
bright,
issues, too.
Slightly spicy flavor, so you can add
I have a
freshness
very,
to your
very
steak.
large family
It helps
history of
cut through the
thyroid stuff,
richness
so I'm
of
starting to be
fatty
curious on
meat,
that
so
one.
each bite feels lighter, so the beef tastes cleaner. It contains an enzyme that can slightly tenderize the meat, so you will improve texture. It works best when it's freshly grated, so you get a stronger flavor. But you have to be careful, because this will alter the flavor of your steak. Ginger is very powerful, not only on taste but also aroma. To use it, it's very simple. You can use it either by adding it on top of your steak or blending it with water in a blender and pouring that over the steak to let the enzymes do its thing. Leave it for a maximum of
a lot of
24
ginger.
hours. Too much can become sharper or even spicy, so balance is quite important with ginger. It's a simple but very
Yeah, ginger can be
effective,
very
easy way
spicy
to
if overdone.
upgrade
Very
inexpensive
spicy.
cuts. But again, if you don't love the flavor of ginger, this is not for you. So for that reason, ginger is getting a 6 out of 10. But if you love it, it can go even higher.
Yeah, so far this is our ranking. But check out our next ingredient, instant miso soup. It's a dry mix of miso and dashi, so it should be quick and easy to use. So my hope is that it's going to boost the flavor of the steak. And as you can clearly see, this is what it looks like once you open it. I'll tell you one thing, it smells wonderful.
I have a very
It even has a little
very
bit of
strong
combo
family
for you.
history.
That's these other pieces you see here.
My grandmother is hyper. My father is hypo. My mom had cancer in hers. 2 of my aunts on one side of the family are both hypo or hyper. And both my parents, their thyroid started going when they were right around my age, late 30s. 38 to like 42, right in that range, which is right where I am. So I'm really starting to wonder about my thyroid. We usually, due to the family history, we test it every 6 months, but it's been a while, so I might need to get that done. Might need to get that done here pretty
Let's
quick.
find out if this is going to work well with steaks or not. So I went ahead and grabbed a beautiful New York strip. This is 2 inches thick, choice grade, and as you can see, it's perfect. First, I season it with salt and pepper. That's it. But of course, we need our special ingredient. Now here's one thing to keep in mind. I used 1 small pack for 1 steak. The last thing I want to do is to overdo it. I'm actually excited to see what's going to happen. Hopefully, this will taste delicious, because I'll be honest with you, it's one of the easiest thing to do. But if it does not make my steak taste great, it's not worth it. So I'm excited to see what will happen to this one, as I'm now ready to rank the next one, which I've used it before and I have experience with it.
Koji rice. It is a rice fermented with a special mode. So it's packed with natural enzymes inside of this thing that will get transferred to your steak. The enzymes
Isn't that the
break down
rice you got to be like
protein so
super,
that the
super
steak
careful
becomes
about? I know
more
there's like this
tender
kind of like
and
sticky rice. It can be
flavorful. It
really,
also
really bad if
increases
it's
the
not prepared
natural
properly.
flavor of the steak, but it also gives the steak a dry-aged taste. It does not tenderize like a real dry-aged steak, because you got to remember, whenever you dry-aging steak, you're pulling out moisture, allowing the enzymes to work through the steak, making it more tender. If you leave it for too long, you will be in trouble. I went crazy and I did an experiment for a month. And that steak, let me tell you something, was not very enjoyable. It was like eating an alien-like steak. It was not great.
That does
But
not look
the
great.
key
It looks like
is
really,
you do
really
this
bad
correctly,
jerky.
and you use a normal amount like this, and you let it sit on your refrigerator overnight. The very next day, remove all of the koji, because all of that good fermented enzyme already got onto the steak. Go ahead and cook it whichever way you prefer. Slice it and enjoy. The results can be impressive. So it is worth trying for inexpensive and also expensive steaks. But it is an advanced ingredient that you must respect it. And on top of that, you're also not supposed to breathe this. Be careful when you're using it, and I highly recommend using a mask. But
Yeah, you're not
steak,
supposed to breathe
most
it, but
people
throw it on
don't
your
even take
food.
that type of precaution, but I do. With that being said, because it's a unique ingredient, I'm giving it a 5 out of 10. Miso. It is a fermented soybean paste, so it brings an umami flavor that is unlike any other.
Leave
It
that
is
soy
rich in
out for
savory
me.
compounds, so it boosts the overall flavor of the steak. It adds a salty, slightly sweet depth, making the steak more complex in flavor. Now, depending on how long you leave the miso on the steak, it will also help it tenderize it slightly. But keep this in mind. You only need a very small amount. You don't need to overdo it. Miso needs time for it to penetrate deeply into the steak. So I recommend leaving it for 24 hours or overnight. Once that's done, make sure you remove all of the miso out, and then you can go ahead and cook your steak like you normally would. Here's what you can expect.
You'd think it's
a
like
great tasting steak. It will slightly
incredibly
remind
tender
you
to
of
the
miso,
touch
but
right
most
there.
people will not even notice. And the only reason you will know is because you
I don't
use
know.
the ingredient. But if you use too
I don't know.
much, you will ruin
You're gonna be
your
like
steak.
breathing,
You'll
dude?
be
I'm like struggling to get like a
extremely
full breath in right
overpowering.
now. It
This
sucks.
is one of those ingredients that are quite dangerous because you can easily mess it up. So for that reason, I'll give it a 6 out of 10. Soy sauce and ponzu sauce. Now they're pretty much similar to each other, except ponzu sauce.
Instead of
has
soy, you
citrus.
need liquid
They will
aminos.
taste slightly different. but
Bragg's
similar
liquid aminos
results.
is the
It
play.
will bring both saltiness and acidity, so it balances a fatty steak extremely well. It makes each bite feel lighter so that the steak doesn't feel so fatty. Now here's the deal. If you're gonna use soy sauce or ponzu sauce, I recommend you using it with a little bit of water and then soaking your steak for 24 hours. Believe me, that's good enough, because I went further than that, and that, my friends, is something you don't want to do. Trust me when I tell you, because I knew that the soy sauce was going to work so well. I actually did it for an hour, 24 hours, a week.
I like that you
month.
used the
But
word
best
panacea.
results was 24
Very
hours.
nice
The problem
vocabulary,
was
very
that
nice
the one for a
vocabulary.
month was too acidic, overpowering, and it cured the steak, and it was not pleasant to eat. So this ingredient and also ponzu sauce, you gotta respect it. But it's so easy to use. You probably have it at home already. It's a great thing to use on inexpensive steaks that you want to have a nice upgrade to it. And for that reason, ponzu sauce and soy sauce is getting an 8 out of 10.
Try ponzu sauce, friends. I have a feeling you will enjoy it. But this next ingredient I've never tried before.
Oh, I got a
We're
burp
about
that
to
won't come
find
out.
out live if it's going to work or not. It is bonito flakes. There are extremely thin shavings of dry fish, and I'm hoping that they're going to bring a strong umami flavor to the steak without making it fishy. But I'll be honest with you, I'm a little bit skeptical because you can smell this thing from a mile away. Now you're probably thinking, why would you use bonito flakes on a steak? Well, did you know that Worcestershire sauce uses anchovy? It's one of their secret ingredients to make the sauce fantastic.
How do you feel about anchovies?
The idea here is simple.
I might try
I'm hoping to
anchovies
use the
soon.
right amount so that it does not get fishy, but it does provide that wonderful umami flavor to the steak. As you saw it there, I seasoned it with salt and pepper first, and even though it looks like I'm putting a generous amount, it's so thin that as soon as I put it in the bag, a lot falls off. Now, in order to have a true comparison, I'm also doing a control, which will have nothing on it. It's basically a fresh steak which I seasoned with salt and pepper, vacuum sealed it, and it is now ready for sous vide. Talking about that, I'll be cooking all of these steaks at 135 degrees Fahrenheit for 1 hour. As that's cooking, we got a few other Japanese ingredients that can actually be great with steaks.
Wasabi peas. Yes, this ingredient right here is crazy. Normally you find it on yakitori bars, Japanese bars, and you eat it while drinking.
Yeah,
It's
asking the
just
internet and Grok is kind of
coating
pointless.
wasabi.
There's
So
like
it brings
9
a
million
little bit
things
of
it could
heat
be.
and texture. They are sharp with a spicy kick, and they add a contrast to the steak.
There's like
Now, for
symptoms
you
that I've
who
always
use it, you
had
don't
for
wanna
years
use
are
it as a
just
crust on a steak. It'll be
severely
too much.
exacerbated
I
right now.
recommend you actually aging your steak with it, just in your refrigerator.
It's even scarier thinking about how I smoked cigarettes for 20 years.
Steak with it.
It's got me pretty scared that I got something real serious going on.
Refrigerator, so you gain more of that flavor. But here's the deal.
I have an
You
appointment
do
with
this,
ENT
make sure
next
you use a
week, so
thick steak.
we'll find
If
out
your
what's
steak
going
is
on. I'm
too
really afraid
thin,
I'm going to
it
get some
will not
tragic
work.
news,
It
though.
will actually dry out the steak and you won't be pleasant. It will pair extremely well with fattier cuts. For example, if you try to use this on a sirloin steak that doesn't have a lot of fat, it won't be good. It's a more unique ingredient, so it adds an unexpected take on a steak. But let me tell you something. If you hate the taste of wasabi, you're not gonna like this. Because I enjoy it.
Give 'em a shot, yeah.
Experience. I'm giving this one a 6 out of 10.
This is our current ranking, and I cannot wait to see the results between Bonito Flakes and instant miso soup. But just in case both of those go south.
Yeah, oh
I
yeah,
decided
my
to
throat,
go
or
ahead
like
and
I
make
said,
an
throat,
awesome side
GI.
dish. This is not traditional, but it is easy to
Nasal,
make. and most
thyroid. I
important,
smoked
if you love a
Marlboros
little
for a
bit of
long
spice in your
time,
life,
brother. I
try
am very,
this.
very
Here's how I
scared
did it.
right now.
First, I went ahead and
Very
boiled
scared.
some gnocchi. Then on a separate pan, I melted down some butter, because as soon as my gnocchis were ready, I threw them in. Now here's where it gets interesting.
Got
I
the
want
fear in
them
the back
to
of my mind
fry
they're
on
gonna
this
cut my
butter,
throat
getting
out or
them
something.
crispy, but still gooey in the inside. I'm looking for a very specific texture. Now if you move them around too much, they won't get a golden brown color and they will not get crispy. So just let them be. As soon as you can see a little bit of color on the edges, then you can move them around. Now go ahead and fry them until they're nicely golden. And believe me friends, the gnocchi will soak up all of that wonderful
Gnocchi.
butter, making it taste delicious. Once that's done, save them on a separate bowl and set it aside. Now for the sauce. In the same pan, throw in some butter, let that melt down, then add some garlic, followed by red onions. Go ahead and start cooking that up. As then, you want to add some gochujang. Now, in order to make this taste really good, you gotta cook the gochujang. It doesn't take long, but if you rush this step, it won't taste the same. So make sure you let the whole thing cook for a little bit. As soon as it starts getting dissolved with the butter, that's how you know it's ready. Now add a tiny bit of heavy cream and whisk that up. Keep it under medium-low heat. It will start thickening up on you real quick, and you can tell by the bubbles. Now add some Parmigiano Reggiano, mix it up a little bit, and you should be left with this consistency.
Dude, that
Run your
looks
fingers
so
through the spoon,
good.
and it's not liquidy. You know it's ready. Season the whole thing with some salt and pepper. Now add your gnocchi, mix it up real good, and it is now time for plating. I went ahead and added to a plate a generous amount, followed by some extra Parmigiano Reggiano, a tiny bit
Parmigiano.
of avocado, which is Korean chili flakes, followed by some finely chopped basil. Now this is today's side dish. Let me tell you friends, it is spicy, crispy, gooey, and absolutely delicious. I believe it's going to be the perfect balance for today's experiment.
Now that my side dish is ready, there's only one thing left to do, and that is to go ahead and take out those new experimental steak and see how they taste. But here's the deal. I don't know which one is gonna be good. Is the Bonito Flakes actually gonna taste fishy, or is the miso soup is gonna taste soupy? That is the reason why I experiment. One of the biggest surprises I've ever had in my life was actually using mac and cheese powder on a steak. Let me tell you something, that was incredible. And I
Really?
just love
I don't
to
know
learn
about
new
that.
things. This video is all about Asian
Let's turn a
ingredients.
beautiful
And if you
single
guys
ingredient
enjoy
steak
it, I'll do
into
another
a
one with
ultra-processed
American
meal in
ingredients that I
one
use
simple
that
step.
are absolutely insane on steaks. But with that being said, now that I pat it dry really good and also removed everything out of that steak, including the miso soup powder and the Bonito Flakes, there's only one thing left to do, and that is to sear them. Because I know exactly what you're thinking. I know my steaks don't look that good right now, but watch this. All right, everybody, and here we got our beautiful feast.
Is it
Jello, what do you guys
bonita?
think, huh?
Oh, I'm excited today, Guga.
Ooh, okay, so we got some pasta, beans. What's happening here?
So this is a Guga thing. This is not an Italian thing. This is not an Asian thing. This is a Guga thing, all right? I have a feeling it's gonna be great. But today's video is all about these steaks. Some Japanese ingredients are wonderful with steaks. Others, not so much. Now, I use two special ingredients on these two steaks here because I have already rated all of the other experiments, but these these, you guys are gonna help me rate them.
Sounds good.
Let's begin right here, guys. Please dig in. Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Coworker from lung cancer. Yeah, I'm
It's
terrified
just
right
magical,
now.
What can I say?
I
Might
feel
not
like
be
we always
showing
say
it.
the
I'm
same
very
thing,
scared
muscle
right
weight,
now.
but man, you guys have to try this. It's always the perfect.
Very scared that I see
soft and
ENT
tender.
Monday,
Super soft
and
tender,
I'm
but
very
the
scared
most
I'm gonna get
important
bad
thing to me
news,
is that
like
it's
really bad
foolproof.
news,
If
like
you
really,
never
really,
cook a
really,
steak in
really,
your
really
life,
bad
try a
news.
sous vide first,
It's
because
just
let me tell
in
you
my
something.
mind right
You
now.
mess
It's all I've
that
been
one
thinking
up,
about for
wait,
days.
Be a vegan, be a vegetarian, because it's simply easy to make.
You really can't go wrong with a sous vide steak.
Control is always good. All right, let's go to the next one, okay? Please dig in, guys. Let's give it a go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Right off the rip, very well seasoned, more beefy.
That is delicious. What do you think?
No, this one's really good. Whatever you put on it, it hasn't changed the flavor of the steak, but it does
Yes.
have an extra umami, almost MSG kind of boost, making it more beefy, more savory. It's really good.
I couldn't agree more. Like some other ingredients that I've used throughout this video, they modify the steak completely. Not this one. You just made the steak better.
My last dentist
100%.
appointment, they
It's just- it's
screened
more
the back of
beefy
my
steak.
throat,
It
my
felt,
whole
as
mouth
you
for
were saying,
cancer, and didn't
enhanced,
find
and feeling
anything.
your
But
cheeks a little more.
yeah, and
Exactly.
I
It's
got a
just
real
like
bad
the
feeling,
flavor
man.
also
I got a real
lingers.
bad
Yes.
feeling.
It just stays in your mouth. A wonderful, delicious flavor, everybody. This is pretty good. We got a rate from 1 to 10. Felito.
I'm gonna give this one a 9.
Wow, I'm gonna say that's almost the top one. That's pretty good. How about you?
I give it a solid 8.
You know what? This one worked extremely well. It is easy for everyone to try it at home. I'm giving it a 9 too.
I hear you.
That's really good.
I
It's
hear you.
very delicious. You will not ruin your steak, and it's something extremely mild that will work. By the way, that was instant miso soup.
Miso
Just
soup's
the
really good, so
powder.
yeah.
It works extremely well. Before we move on to the next one, let's try some side dish. Let's give it a go. Cheers.
Cheers.
Ooh, I like. Slightly spicy though.
I did also sign up right when I get back from
It's
MeatStock.
very
I am
garlicky,
finally
it's
going to
slightly
see mental
spicy, a
health
little
as
bit
well.
Sweet and also
Something that's
extremely
been overdue for a
creamy.
very long time.
What stands out for me, at least, is the texture.
Oh yeah, no. The best part about this is the crunchiness. When you take a bite of the gnocchi, that crispiness on the outside, but it's nice and gooey and soft on the inside, it makes it even better.
Like what you were saying, Guga, it's very creamy, but I also feel that it's so buttery. How much butter did you put in this?
I fried the whole thing on a stick of butter, but butter is good. That is a nice, easy side dish for anyone to make. Let's move on to the next steak because I'm curious. This one, I must say, is a little bit more adventurous. Not in a bad way. I hope. I don't know. Let's go. Please dig in. Let's find out. You ready?
Yeah.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Oh, I can feel that ingredient immediately. Uh-oh. Sebastian is not having a good time.
I wanna go-
Felito is not having a good time.
I want to try and I want another bite, but I don't know. I didn't like it.
I
too
don't
much to- no,
You
go
don't need
back.
another bite.
Oh, wow. This one here, everybody, is a little bit more adventurous, I must say. Probably not for everyone.
It has like a fishy taste to it. Like I don't know what did you put on, like fish sauce or I don't know.
Oh, look
Guga, that is super fishy. I don't know what he's talking about. No, it is fishy. And it's not a good fish. It doesn't go well with the steak at all, in my opinion.
Yeah, and you're a fisherman.
I am, but
Not this one?
Not with this, no.
Okay, great. I couldn't agree more. This is extremely overpowering. You can feel it right away. By the way, it's bonito.
As he said when he put it in, that I'm not
You
putting
already
too
know
much
that
on to
it doesn't work
overpower
with
it.
steaks, everybody, but we gotta give it a vote to make it official. Felito.
I'm gonna give this one a 6, Hugo.
A 6? That's very high.
It's
very
not
high.
terrible. There's definitely a way to make this better, but it's not for me.
Okay, how about you?
Honestly, Guga, it didn't really taste like a steak whatsoever, so I'm gonna give it like a minimum of a 2 at least.
You know what? It surprises me that you both are going extremely
Yep.
high. I'm giving it a 1, everybody, if not a 0. You can eat it, but I would never do this again, if that makes any sense.
Yes.
Yeah.
I hope you guys enjoyed this video.
I just got to
Feedback,
phase them out with
thumbs up. If you're
Zins
not
and
a
then quit from
subscriber,
there.
you should
I just
subscribe.
got to,
And
dude.
we'll
It's
see you
so
guys on the
hard.
next one. Take
It's
care,
so
everybody.
hard.
Bye-bye.
I've given up all the bad
Today we're
stuff I
testing
do
the
all day
craziest
except for
ways
that,
to
and
cook
it's probably the
brisket.
one that's going
We'll
to
start
end me
by
here
cooking
pretty
this
quick.
one rotisserie style directly over fire. But as the video goes on,
Ooh,
you'll
brisket
see
video.
secret recipes
It's
that
39 minutes. We might come back to that. We got some workout stuff we can do. Let's check out Carrie's rendition of Carnivore Taco Bell.
Look at this chalupa. I even got a brown on the outside of the soft shell, but a million times better. Why? Because it's gonna be clean Taco Bell. We are gonna up the game on the beef, and we are gonna use only clean ingredients. Not only that, I'm gonna make a legit carnivore taco shell, and one of my favorites from pre-carnivore, I'm gonna make a chalupa. A straight up legit
Egg white
clean
wrap? I'm assuming
carnivore
egg white wrap.
chalupa. Let's jump right into today's video and get started. How do we do Taco Bell at home but better? It starts with the meat. We are going to use one of my favorite cuts of meat, a chuck roast. I'm gonna chunk it up. I'm going to sear it in this Dutch oven with some beef tallow, and then we're gonna put this entire thing inside the oven at 325 degrees for about 3 hours. No seasonings, no spices, no sauces. This meat will be incredible. It will fall apart. So we're gonna take this beautiful chuck roast, look at that thing, and we're gonna chunk it up.
God, I love
So
chuck
this
roast.
is the beef tallow we use. I got a little bit of beef tallow in there, 100% pure grass-fed, grass-finished. We have an Amazon link below for everything. This pot, the tallow, all of our cooking gadgets and gizmos.
Three hours later.
I haven't opened this. This has been going for 3.5 hours. You're gonna see it with me for the first time. And hopefully it'll be falling apart.
God, it's cheese and eggs. Yeah, that makes sense.
Oh, look at that. All right, I'm gonna go grab 2 forks. I'm gonna see if this is gonna fall apart and shred. I have a feeling it will. Oh, look, I don't even need 2 forks, 1 fork. Would you look? Oh, this is gonna be so good. It smells incredible. This smells, I'm telling you, this is so much better. You don't need spices. If you have to have the spices, the taco seasoning, go ahead and get them. But try it once without it. I'm gonna do that right now. Savory, beefy, rich. Like when you braise it like that, it is so good. Of course, you could make tacos at home, but better with just straight up ground beef. That's what we did before. We'll show you a clip of that on the screen. Here we go, chalupa bite.
Oh boy, I think we have a winner.
You can cook this right in the Dome 2 air fryer. Super simple.
Cheese shell,
super
that's an
easy to
interesting
do.
play too.
Plenty of space in there to do it. But if you want to up it, that's what we're doing. Better than Taco Bell. Try the chuck roast. This is still better than Taco Bell because the meat you get at Taco Bell has 10,000 ingredients and spices and chemicals in it.
Grade D,
So we're
but
going much
edible,
cleaner.
by the way.
All right,
Grade
so we
D,
got
but
the meat
edible.
going. We're going to leave it going there. It's cooling down. It's resting. Now we have to make our tacos. Our taco shells. And I'm going to show you a game changer that Emma taught me to do the soft shells. I'm going to show you what we're going to use for the
Trying
soft
to look at the
taco
last
shells
time they checked
right
my
now.
thyroid.
These are Egg Life Egg White Wraps Original. These are sold at Aldi. Emma told me about these, and she's been using them for a while now. Now, these aren't 100% legit clean carnivore. I would say they're 95%. Like, this is like 95% egg whites. That's pretty darn clean. But if we look at the ingredients here, we have, the actual ingredients are cage-free egg whites, xanthan gum, sea salt, and natural preservative. So there's a little bit of weird stuff in there. As my daughter Emma always says, you do you, I'll do me. If you have issues with this, fair warning. First, I want to make the hard shell taco up. And in the previous video, the Crunchwrap Supreme, we'll show you some footage from that. I cooked that entirely.
Love Guga. Taught me all I know about sous vide. Oh, I know, dude. Guga is fantastic. He is truly
Crunchwrap
fantastic.
Supreme. Here we go. Today's video is proudly brought to you by the Tyfer Dome 2 air fryer. I have been using this thing for about a month now, and I absolutely love it. It has dual heating zones and a crazy
I want a sous vide so bad.
360-degree cooking technology.
Pressure cooker is
that
good
will
too. You can make
sear
any
the
piece of
most
meat fall
incredible
apart, tender about an hour.
carnivore
Yeah,
steak
pressure
for you.
cookers are
You can do carnivore
fantastic, Shepard.
Pizza on it.
Fantastic.
You can cook 32 chicken wings.
Mr.
in just
Sourpuss,
14
Mr.
minutes.
Shepard, welcome,
You can
welcome,
cook
welcome
2
to the
steaks
new
in
time
just
slot.
8
Welcome to the
minutes.
new time
You
slot.
can cook an entire carnivore pizza in this thing, and you get a nice crispy crust and edge because of the 360-degree cooking technology. The other thing I absolutely
Don't
love
all
with
air
this
fryers
thing
technically
is
cook
the
360
large
degrees? I'm just
cooking
saying. I'm just
capacity.
saying.
The other thing that's really cool with this is it has 8 modes of cooking built right into the unit. You just push the button on the unit.
I think most air fryers do.
PFAS free. It has a self-cleaning feature. You push the button, it gets up to a super high heat, and then when you have things in your air fryer like us carnivores do, we often have different types of fat. You don't want those fats to go rancid. They won't, because with the self-cleaning option, it'll get to a super high heat and reduce all of that down. Huge thank you to Tyfer Dome 2 for sponsoring today's video. you can get 10% off your
Get that
own
fat sponsor money.
Hyperdome 2 by using promo code HOMESTEAD10. Special link in the description below. Now back to today's video. So we've done taco night a couple times with the Dome 2. I'll show you some footage of that. We cooked the ground beef in here. This thing's working great to cook the meat up. You have such a large cooking area. That's my biggest pet peeve.
Air fryer
with,
ground
air
beef
fryers
actually
is-
sounds very
We've
interesting.
tested a lot of
I do
air
it my
fryers over the
bacon.
years.
My
We have a
bacon,
family
all
of
I do
6.
is air
So
fry
when we
now.
cook up ground beef, we don't like to cook up a little batch. We like to cook up a big batch like you see here. And I'm gonna start with one gigantic taco shell. So I got a taco shell going in the Dome 2, and I'm gonna do another one on the stove just to double duty. So just to show you how
Double
this works,
duty.
you just get the cheese. This is a PFAS-free pan as
Curious
well.
to see the
Before we
turnout we
ask
get with the
about
new
that.
time slot. Very curious to
And
see
you
how
have to let
tonight
it go
goes.
a little bit longer than you think, but once the shell is almost ready and you flip it, you can pull it off. You can get one of these cool taco holders, and you can shape it that way, or
Started using
you
a
can put
pressure
it
cooker for
over
eggs.
a
You can feed about
spoon
5
like
dozen.
this.
It only take 1 minute on high. The shells practically
Put it
blow
over,
off the
drape
eggs.
it over like this, and that'll
Interesting.
give you
It's
your
for what?
taco
Hard
shape.
boiling them? That's
Just to
interesting.
show you these egg life wraps, what they look like. They look
I
just
knew it
like
was those egg
tortillas,
white wraps.
but it's
I knew it was those egg white
95%
wraps.
egg whites. And I'm going to use this in conjunction with the cheese shell I'm making. The cheese shell will harden like a hard shell, and this will be the soft shell for my chalupa. There's one taco shell done. Not my best work. We're going to try another one. All right, we've been about 6 minutes. Oh yeah, we got some nice crispy edges.
Need you a big old flipper.
I'm gonna let it go just a little bit longer. Gonna go quick. Here's my soft shell egg white. Oh, it's been sitting in
God,
there
that
for a
roast.
little
Dude,
bit.
I want to try a
Oh,
roast.
that's perfect. All right, here we go.
Never
One,
tried
one,
air fryer ground beef? Yeah, you and me
Boom.
both. You and me both. I've never thought about trying air fryer ground beef. Interesting,
And
though.
then
It seems like it'd be a lot to clean
We'll
up
flip
because
it.
so many drippings left over.
the chalupa's on the outside, so we're gonna take some of this beautiful, gorgeous meat, start making our chalupa. I'm gonna put some sour cream on mine. I like sour cream on my taco.
Yeah, you gotta have sour cream. It's juicy. Sounds good, Shepard. Appreciate you stopping
With a little
by.
bit of cheese.
I bought an Innova SV on eBay,
This is
$140.
gonna be
Stock
cranking
pot,
hot.
$5 Goodwill. Hot pot grade, $3 Goodwill. Raised pot
Oh,
off
we
the
even
coffee.
got
Not
a
too
little
pricey to get
sear.
into. Yeah, no, it really doesn't sound like it. Really doesn't
We even
sound
got
like
a
it.
little sear on the chalupa. Look at this chalupa. Look at the edge. I even got a brown on the outside of the soft shell, carnivore soft shell. We got the inner hard shell. We got the chuck roast, sour cream cheese. I gotta go in for a bite. Oh,
That
it
does
is
look really good.
Ready? 3, 2, 1. A million times. Oh my goodness. Look at my chalupa. I got
And the large
little
cast iron.
grill
Yeah, yeah,
on
yeah.
top.
Oh, yeah, I always sear first. Gotta sear first.
Oh yeah, we got a big old shell and it's still pliable, so we can move it around. We can do whatever we want with it. So I'm gonna get a plate out. Oh, this meat is incredible. Carnivore burrito. Look at that. I don't know how to wrap a burrito.
Beef, pork, meatballs. Yeah, I'm gonna have some
just gonna
video,
put this in
videos
there.
coming up with
Look at that
meatballs and
meat.
stuff.
Are you
I'm
looking?
gonna have a bunch of cooking stuff coming up soon.
You would think that shell would taste all greasy and cheesy and gross. It's crispy, it's delicious. It's incredible. All right, I did a chalupa, I did a burrito. The girls are gonna come over and want to eat some, but I'm gonna try a soft shell taco just by itself, just the original. Let's try that next. All right, so I got a carnivore soft shell going. I just warmed it up a little bit. You can see it's browning. It's getting a little crispy there on the edge.
I feel like it's
Crispy,
really hard to
crunchy,
get those super
soft
crispy.
Shell. Ready? If you are not a carnivore and you came to my house and I fed you carnivore taco night, you would be clueless that this is legit carnivore. I don't know which one I like better. You got the soft shell, you've got the hard shell, and you got the chalupa. The chalupa was my favorite, even more so than the
Yeah,
burrito.
chalupa would be the play.
In conclusion, we just made Taco Bell at home but better. We did soft shell, hard shell, chalupa. In a previous video, we did a Crunchwrap Supreme. We did a burrito. And it's a million times better because you're using real whole ingredients. Chuck roast and salt, that's it. And a little bit of cheese and egg wraps for the shell. Absolutely incredible. Leave a comment down below.
And
Do
sour
you
cream.
guys do taco night? And huge shout out to Laura Spath, who inspired me
Taco
to upgrade
Tuesdays.
with the chuck roast. That chuck roast meat is the best taco meat in the world. If you
Another
enjoyed
awesome
this
video by Mr. Carey. Definitely worth watching. We got some Sean Baker to look at. We're going to do a little pump here in just a little bit. This is another really good one about brisket we're going to take a look at. Let's look at Sean Baker's top 5 here.
5 foods that I consume the most frequently on a carnivore diet. And I've been on this diet for just about 10 years now. And the number one food that I consume the most regularly, it would be no surprise to you guys, is beef. I eat, lots of steaks, I eat lots of burgers. That is by far and away the most abundant part of my diet, probably making up anywhere between 80
Doesn't
and
he not eat
95% of the
eggs? I
diet.
swear he doesn't
Sometimes
eat eggs.
100% of the diet. And I've done, all beef diets for months and months and months at a time without any issues. And honestly, sometimes it's the best I ever feel is when I do things like that. Anyway, the reason for that is beef is just a powerhouse of nutrition. I mean, it's loaded with, things like carnitine, creatine, carnosine, obviously B vitamins, iron, zinc, so on and so forth. So it's a wealth of flavor. It tastes wonderful. I mean, I think most people agree with that. A juicy, well-marbled steak, seared nicely with a nice medium rare finish, a little bit of salt, and man, that is pinnacle nutrition as far as I'm concerned. So beef absolutely is my number one, and I think it always will be. I eat a variety of different types of beef with regard to where it's sourced from. Sometimes it's grass finished, a lot of times it's grain finished. I actually prefer the taste of grain finished beef. I like the higher fat content. And remember, as someone who is highly active and also not consuming, very little in the way of
Crazy
carbs at
how
all,
good that man's knees
I
are at
need
almost
that for my
60 years
energy.
old.
Now again, you
Man can do stuff
overconsume
at
fat
60
on
that I'm
any
not going to be
diet,
able to do
include
at
a carnivore
40.
diet, as you can overconsume
Insane.
calories,
Utterly
you can
insane.
consume carbohydrates to the
That,
point
folks,
that
is
you
why
get
you
fat.
take
So
care of your
have
body.
to, reminder that fat is necessary, but it's not a free pass to eat as much fat as you possibly can and expect to not have negative consequences with that. Now, the number 2 food that probably makes it into my diet most frequency is going to be eggs. Again, these are pretty simple.
Yeah, I was wrong about the eggs.
Complement beef very well.
I was way off on the
they're
eggs.
Higher in
I was
certain
way
other
off on the eggs.
nutrients, things like choline and a few other nutrients that are there. It's very versatile. You can anything from drinking raw eggs to scrambled eggs to fried eggs to sometimes combining them. Throwing a fried egg on a burger patty is a nice combination. Eggs tend to be a staple for a lot of people. Now, mind you, there are some people, quite a few actually, that don't do well and don't tolerate eggs. It's one of the more common food sensitivities that's been noted. Some people have more issues with the white than the yolk because the white is where most of the proteins are. The yolk still has a small amount of protein in it. So eggs are, something I eat very often, although I go in waves. Sometimes I won't eat eggs for months and months, and then I'll bring them back in. All right, the next one.
I'm almost thinking about
is
a break
little
from
bit
eggs. I'm
controversial,
actually,
and it's
to be honest, I've been thinking about it a little bit. When I get back, it's because things are feeling weird, everything else. I have been thinking, when I get back from MeatStock, I've been thinking about doing another 30 on Lion. Thinking about doing 30 on Lion again. Let's throw another round in there. 30 days ain't nothing. Ain't nothing. I can do 30 easy.
A decent amount of from time to time, and that is dairy. And specifically, the dairy I consume is often either in the form of a hard cheese or things like a Greek yogurt or perhaps a cottage cheese. As I'm leaning out, and cottage cheese tends to be a relatively leaner source of dairy, and those people that are on a heavy ketogenic diet may find that to be not something they want to pursue. But if you think about what is the purpose of dairy's general purpose is to grow things. It's to take a small animal and turn it into a larger animal. So dairy is a very good source of nutrition. It's high in high quality proteins, high quality fats. There is a small amount of carbohydrate in dairy, depending upon which version you get. Some are heavier than others. And I think that the other thing that's interesting, my friend Amber O'Hearn wrote a paper talking about the nutritional adequacy of a carnivore diet and stated that every macronutrient you could a good case for. The only exception that would be calcium. Calcium would be the hardest one to achieve.
Dude, this fast is putting in
carnivore
work. I mean, my
diet.
stomach
And,
is
questionable,
grumbling right now.
If the baseline diet, the higher protein, mitigates some of that need, particularly in adults, as we've already reached skeletal maturity. Nonetheless, dairy is a good source of calcium, of course. But many people will struggle with dairy. For some people, they will have, added weight gain, difficulty losing weight. They will see problems. Some people will have skin issues. Some people, I've seen people complain of congestion, mucus type things. I note that for myself, occasionally I'll notice that with if I rely too heavily on dairy. Dairy is, again, another relatively inexpensive protein source when it comes to whole foods, again, relative to things like some of the other cuts, the premium cuts of meat, like beef. Okay, after dairy, then fish would be my fourth most common. And more often than not, I just, because I'm really relatively minimalist and fairly lazy when it comes to cooking, to be honest, I'll often eat things like smoked salmon because I can just open it up and eat it directly out of the packaging. Try to get wild caught when I can, and that is something.
Wild caught salmon's getting real hard to find. Number one, and number two,
so my goal is to lean down a little bit so that as I get to 60, I can weigh closer to 235, 240 rather than 250, 255 like I am now. And part of that strategy, my diet looks like a little bit of steak every day, some cottage cheese, and salmon, and that's been my diet pretty consistently now for the past bit of time. And, I am starting to lean down because I'm just eating a little bit less energy. And, that's just the way that works for most people. The last one, so the fifth most common food that I eat on this diet, pork products. And this generally is things like bacon. Bacon just, it tastes damn good. I can't deny that. Occasionally I have a pork belly. Once in a while I'll have a pork chop or some pork tenderloin. But it's something that I consume that a handful of times throughout the year, not very often. Again, I prefer beef to it. Time to time, it's a nice little, bit of variety there. I don't think I can make that the basis of my diet. I know some people have to due to financial reasons. Pork is certainly cheaper than beef. There are probably some forms of pork that are better than others, depending upon how it was raised.
Twice the price usually, yeah.
I eat it.
Yep. It most certainly
is. I don't really
is.
concern myself too much with that.
Last time I bought wild caught
it
was
interesting. You think about
a few weeks ago, and I didn't even look at the price per pound. And I got up to the counter, one fillet was like $38.
I said, initially you might say I like to eat it every day. And I know there are people that eat say bacon and eggs for breakfast. That's a classic breakfast, and I'll sometimes have that. The problem is, it's kind of messy. There's a lot of grease associated with that. I mean, there's things you can, bake it in the oven. Versus frying it in a pan. There's lots of ways you can
air fry, baby. Air fry, Sean. Air fry. I'm telling you, air fry bacon.
That would be the one that I eat probably the least of those foods. And then beyond that, every once in a while I'll have something that's non-carnivore. You might have a piece of fruit here and there, a piece of cake once in a while. I've mentioned that many times. I'm not a religious purist with this diet. But I again, these things are so rare that they're basically inconsequential for me. Anyway, let me know what your top 5 favorite foods are on
it's nice
your
you can control
carnivore diet if you pursue that, or what your thoughts are on the foods that I eat. Anyway, y'all take care. If you need help with your health and you are tired of just being given pills and not being supported, check out what we're doing at Rivera. We are literally reversing diseases, saving lives, getting people their lives back, and supporting them every step of the way. And that's the thing about lifestyle. You can't just tell somebody to go do lifestyle and expect them to be successful. A lot of people find they need the support, they need the help, they need the motivation, they need the accountability.
Oh yeah, Benny, it's crazy.
And the constant supervision to make it happen. If that's you, or something.
Yet I can go down to the Dollar General 10 minutes away and get 5 boxes of mac and cheese for like $4 right now. And we wonder why people are overweight. We wonder why people are overweight. Crazy. All right. Let's see. I don't have a video to work on. We are going to get a pump on. We're going to look at every way to cook a brisket. Before that, though, we are going to take a look at Bella. She's got a little report on eggs here that I'm pretty interested to find out because I like eggs, and I want to know what's going on with eggs. to the
Top brands are Vital Farms, Happy Egg, all of these things with labeling that says this is the healthiest egg, is nutritionally dense. Is it really better?
I would never buy an egg out of a grocery store.
Brands like Vital Farms, Happy Egg, and Pete and Jerry's have sold you the idea of premium eggs. But behind the label, many of these chickens are still eating the same corn and soy feed as conventional operations. And that diet shows up directly in the egg itself. That deep orange yolk you've been taught to trust, it can be influenced by added pigments in the feed, more about appearance than true nutritional superiority. Even pasture-raised doesn't always mean what you think. It can include periods indoors, unrotated lands, and far less meaningful foraging than the marketing implies. But here's where it gets worse. Companies like Vital Farms didn't just grow, they went public, bringing in massive institutional investors like BlackRock and Vanguard. And when that happens, the mission changes from serving farmers and customers to answering to Wall Street. And no one understands that better than the farmers who actually raise the chickens, especially the farmers who raise the chickens the right way with the daily care you will not find on a grocery store carton. That's why I wanted you to hear it from them, not me. So I'll be taking you to the Las Vegas farm with Sharon, an egg farmer who's been serving this community quality eggs since 1968, not just to sell eggs, but to sustain an amazing farm animal rescue where every animal is cared for through its full life. It challenges the lazy narrative that selling or eating animal products means you don't respect them, because what you see here with Sharon's farm is the exact opposite. And what she's about to show you about grocery store eggs might completely change the way you look at that carton in your fridge.
We have perches, we have fresh feed,
Wow.
we give them fresh hay, we give them, they all have fresh boxes to lay their eggs in. They all are kept mite-free, and they have fresh water by automatic waterers. We clean them every single day. We gather their eggs several times a day. And during the summer, you have to gather the eggs more often, because even without a bird sitting on it, an egg will start to generate a baby when it's 105 out here.
Wow.
So we've got some
15
different
a pound,
varieties
yeah.
in here.
Yeah.
I don't buy.
That's why I stick with chuck steak.
I don't buy birds. Or
I would kill for a
birds
nice ribeye right now. I haven't
for
had a
their
ribeye in
eggs
so
or their
long.
color or all of that. And some birds.
It's
that lay
been
some
weeks since I've
colorful
had a
eggs,
ribeye.
But I'm not in it to find out how colorful my eggs can be. Okay. I want them to be quality. I want them to be.
What's going on,
well.
Charlotte?
I want them to be fresh. And I want them to be available.
We're learning about eggs today.
Every single weekend. We're open every single
What to look
Saturday
out
and
for in
Sunday.
eggs? Do you
And
like
every
eggs?
Saturday
Are
and
you an
Sunday,
egg
I have
enthusiast
to
by
have
chance?
enough eggs to accommodate my customers. And they come here for that, for many
Chilling,
other things
soaking
you
up
saw
the
in
dream.
market.
I feel ya. I
But
feel
our
ya.
eggs are one of our eggs and our honey.
It's all we all can do
I
is
have
soak up the dream
124
one day at a
beehives.
time. You know what I mean?
So I do my honey, I do my eggs. You can buy a bag of feed. Now we've got a bag of feed. Used to be,
I'm very
$16,
curious what she actually
$17.
feeds them, though.
Now
Very
it's
curious what she
24,
actually feeds them.
26, 28. If you try to get into the
How's my day
organic
going? Going good. Going good. We're trying out a new
60,
time slot
80,
for
90,
stream.
$100
Feeling
for
good.
the
Got a
same
nice walk in with the dog
So you've
today.
gotta choose.
Lost
If I
7
did
pounds
that,
yesterday.
I'd
Feeling
have to
good.
sell my
Looking
eggs
good.
at such an exorbitantly high cost. Right. I couldn't sell them. Now we get a
Yeah,
lot of
rice 30 cents a
donations
pound, a
from
good steak
different
15 a
entities
pound.
around
Yes,
town
indeed, Benny
that are
Bob. Yes,
vegetable-based.
indeed.
We get an awful lot of lettuce for our rabbits and different vegetables for our chickens.
Actually, I
And
think
we
I
try
forget
very hard to get them
the
a
last ribeye
variety
prices I saw, but
foods
man.
besides the bag
Well, thank you.
product that we give them. They're checked on all the time for their health, for their mites.
It's going to be a while. I need to go to the mailbox once I see in the beginning of this. Fair enough, fair enough. I'm very curious on this one. They're really getting to the brisket one. We're definitely going to check out the brisket video after this, too.
Anybody starts being silly, I get in the middle of it, calm it down, and then we have a good
Me, Northeast. Northeast
I
America.
learned a lot when I started digging deeper, but most of the people who watch my channel, they don't even know
America.
things that you're teaching.
That I'm teaching.
That you're teaching, yeah. That's right. In grocery stores, the top brands are Vital Farms, Happy Egg, all of these things with labeling that says this is the healthiest egg, is nutritionally dense.
Virginia? Oh boy, I'm going to be driving through Virginia soon. I'm going to be driving through Virginia soon. I got a road trip down to Tennessee coming up here pretty quick.
Years ago, we used to.
How's the weather down there? You guys starting to warm up a little bit or what?
spot check at the airports when they had like 1 million eggs come off the plane to get to all of our hotels and get to all of our
We're still
restaurants.
dipping
And
down
I
in
would
the
go with him
30s and
to
getting
learn
snow
about
and stuff up here. I'm
quality
hoping
egg
Virginia,
control,
Tennessee is going
and
to be
he would come
nice
here
and
to learn
toasty by
about
the
how to
time I
raise a
get down
bird,
there.
because he didn't have that information, and
Partly
I didn't have
sunny?
his.
Good enough.
I learned an awful lot from that gentleman about how eggs are treated.
How's the temperatures
how
looking? You guys in the
eggs are
70s and shit yet? 70s,
graded,
80s?
how eggs
I'll
are
take that. I'm
qualified,
trying to get me
how-
some
what
70s,
he's gonna
80s
do
going
to
on.
Send them back on the plane or
Nothing
allow
more
them
than
in.
that. Nothing more
And
than that.
people
Anything
just
past
have
that's
to be
too hot.
aware.
Do I play
Once
any
they get to
games?
a
I generally
grocery
do.
store,
We do some
you've gotta
marathons
make
some
sure
days,
that
some
what you're
Warframe.
buying is what you're buying.
We're generally more of a
They say
health
that
and
it's-
weight loss
that
type
it's a quality
stream,
egg.
self improvement,
How
things
do you-
along those
how do you
lines.
prove that? You have to prove
But
that. Number
yeah,
one,
we
by
do
the
a
feed.
little gaming here and there,
If
but
the
not
feed
too
isn't
much. Not too
quality,
much.
Then the egg isn't quality, and I don't know that any of those labels indicate that. The only thing
Usually
you
like
can do is
Friday
go to
stream.
the
What's my
label,
all-time
go
favorite
back, but
game?
then you got to look at the big, huge places that
I don't
sell
know. I could answer
and
that
market
so
eggs.
many ways.
What do they feed?
I could
How
answer
do they
that
care
so
for
many
them?
ways.
What do they do?
I mean,
How
my
often do they
favorite
cull? How often do
that
they
I've
have new
played in the
birds?
last
How
couple
often
years,
do they
Expedition
baby?
33. It
You
was
know,
so
it's
good.
a hard thing
It was
to
so
choose.
good.
Personally, I've been doing this
The
over
game I've
50
probably
years.
played the
I don't
most
think I've
of?
ever bought a carton of eggs. So.
Either Destiny 2 or
can't even tell
Warframe,
you
one of the
that.
two. One of the two. Live service, space-based, looter
When
shooters,
you
stuff
go
like that.
and you buy eggs at the grocery store,
I
you
spent
get a
so much
carton
time
egg
playing
and it's got the
games, though,
Julienne
that
date
I
on
just-
it.
I
You don't
needed to take
know
a
if
break
all
from
of
that
those
stuff.
eggs came in that carton when it got delivered to the store. Because sometimes they'll open the cartons, the customers, and they'll break an egg or two. Well, in the back, you think they're leaving
Hey,
an empty
thanks so
spot
much.
or a broken. No. They're changing them around a little bit.
Excuse me,
You don't
excuse
know
me.
if every egg in there came with the original carton. Not to mention, most of the big chicken producers, they went away from having cages, which I think everybody that's humane agreed with that. But now you don't have 100,000 birds each in individual small cages. You got 100,000
Oh, you see like the
birds
mega
in
chicken
one
farms?
barn.
Yeah.
You can't
Yep.
go
The
by
industrial
carton
chicken
that says
farms? Ugh.
cage free, although now they're not cage free, but they're in a big barn. Can you say pasture raised? They
Go
can
ahead,
see
shoot
it,
your
but they
shot.
can't
Shoot your
step
shot.
on it.
See what happens. If you're
So you're
gonna
saying
sell me
they
some
can still be
animations or
pasture
emotes,
raised, even if they can't step on
caution
it.
you.
Correct. How is that possible? They give them about a 10 by 20 little square that 100,000 birds can walk out on. It's probably concrete, so I don't keep up with that.
You
I'm not
played it
gonna
off
say
so
yay or nay
well.
on
I mean,
that.
I knew the whole time, but you played it off really
I just know
well.
what
You
I
played
do.
it off really well. I'll give you
I have
some
all
credits
my
points
birds
for
on
that though.
property. All my birds
Good
are cared
boy.
for by me. All my birds live out their life to the fullest extent of the time they're in the
Played it
world.
really well, though.
We don't
Played
kill
it
'em,
really
we don't
well.
Butcher them. We don't send them off. We don't sell them. We allow them to live out their lives here. So some of these birds could be 10 years old right now. That's okay, as long as they're not fussing with each other. When you go to the market and you you get eggs, when they come out of the major producers, I would say 100% of them not only put an additive in their feed to produce a different color yolk, but they also put an additive in the feed to give them medications and do all of that stuff, and you don't know any of that. You just don't. And if you got 100,000 birds and you got 2 or 3 of them that get sick, they're not going to take them out of there. They're going to medicate the whole thing, or they're going to cull them. So when they come to the market in those eggs, in the cartons, the way they come, and they're all dated properly and they're all, supposedly fresh, then you just got to trust that. You just got to trust
Wash,
that.
bleach,
But
re-oil. Ugh.
I would say the majority of the time they were washed in bleach or a bleach type product that takes the bloom off of the egg, and then they have to add back an oil to close up the pores on the egg's surface. So the egg will last longer. So what you're getting is not only something that was washed in a harsh chemical, but then they had to put something on it to stop the air going in and out and allowing the albumum to be able to get lower and lower and lower, and the egg will stay longer when the pores are closed. We don't do that here either. So when they come out of our birds, we sell them very rapidly. There's probably not an egg up there that's more than a week, maybe 10 days if we didn't have a busy day. But beyond that, our eggs are sold rather quickly.
And so how long do eggs stay fresh when you guys don't do that whole process?
Our eggs will stay fresh at least 3 months, give or take. However, when you get an egg from us, I always tell people, when you put them in your fridge in those little things, those little compartment things, pointy side down. If you don't put it pointy side down, you're putting the egg sac, the air sac, on the bottom, and then that air sac will start creeping up the side of the egg, and it'll start breaking down the membrane. So when you go to crack your egg, it goes blip. It doesn't.
Grandma Egg has some knowledge here.
Pointy side down when you.
I hope I
put it in the
retained
fridge.
a lot of this
Pointy
because
side down
yeah.
if you're keeping it for future use, but don't lay them on their side or put the fat side down. Otherwise, you're compromising that you can have.
That is a good tip. That is a good tip. I've never thought about that one before. How you doing, Nancy? How's your day going?
Get into what everyone wants to know about grocery store eggs, I'll just say this with.
So pretty much by that logic, anytime I buy a carton of eggs, if I leave it in the carton, I should be putting the carton in the fridge upside down is what I take it from that. That's what I'm walking away from this with. So I suppose on break, I'll go upstairs and flip my eggs over. I'll flip my eggs over.
Full confidence. Sharon's eggs are the best. I bought a bunch, and you can literally
Dude,
taste
the gray streak in my hair.
Else I've noticed. How you
The
cook
gray
your
streak
eggs
in my
matters
hair is starting to
just
make me
as
look
much as where you
bald.
get them, which is why I've been loving them in something super simple like my.
That's
egg
the efficient way?
Still
Yeah,
enjoy
yeah,
scrambled
yeah. I
eggs,
don't have one of
but
the
I
actual
love
egg
them
holders in
in
my
butter
fridge, so I
games,
just leave them in the carton the
feeling
whole
heavy,
time.
greasy, nauseated, or just not digesting right.
The puppies!
And a big part of that comes down to the cooking
I have a
method.
puppy?
Scrambled eggs
Where
are
is my
usually
puppy?
cooked hotter and longer, which can oxidize the delicate fats in the yolk and make them harder for some people to tolerate and digest. That's why for a lot of people, especially if you're
Sophisticated,
sensitive,
yes
gently cooked
indeed,
eggs
yes
tend to be
indeed.
way easier. They're simple, light, and you're not adding anything.
I'm very
extra,
excited
just
to
the
meet
egg
Bella.
itself.
I really hope I
Exactly
get
as
to
it
meet
is.
Bella
And
and
that's
ask some
exactly why
questions.
this
Maybe
egg drop
do a
soup
video
works
with her would be
so
really
well.
cool.
It's gently
Be really
cooked,
cool.
super easy to digest, and still gives you.
I'm
all the
very
benefits
excited to
of
meet a
egg
lot of these
without that
carnivore
heavy
creators
feeling.
here coming up next week. Very excited.
Egg drop soup or whatever soup you choose to make at home is a very important detail because you're drinking this broth, which is made of the water that you
This
use
is an
and choose.
advertisement.
Since most of
We're
us
going
are
to skip
Brown
over the
egg.
advertisement
You have to
there.
have a white egg. I want a blue egg. I want this. Does not matter for the quality.
I have
of the
always
egg.
said that to everyone.
All
The shell
that
does not
tells you
matter.
is the ears and the legs of whatever bird laid it was the color that it laid the egg. So if it's going to be an olive green, they've got olive green legs and little olive green ears. If it's going to, the white ones are the same way, the brown ones the same way, got brown legs.
Rhode Island
The different
Reds.
color of bird doesn't designate it. The different color of their ears and their legs designates what color their egg is when it's produced, which makes no difference if you're feeding them all the same. People want different colored eggs, that's fine. Different choices. Over in Europe years ago, they could only eat brown eggs. Then all of a sudden they wanted white eggs. And now
Just
they
grab the
want this
cheapest.
egg.
Yeah, I hear
It
you,
just
buddy. I
simply
hear you.
doesn't matter for the quality of the egg.
The
And
bulk
from the
Sam's. You ever seen the
producer
bulk
that
Sam's Club box?
feeds
They're like
all
this
of their
big.
animals the same. Same thing coming out of the egg.
Well, speaking of big boxes, I got my new chews. I got my new chews for MeatStock. They showed up. They showed up. Let's look at these bad James. Look how cool these are, dude. Look how blue they are. I love these. These turned out so nice. These turned out so nice. Look at the size of that thing. Look at the size of that thing. Show you how big my feet are. Bigger than my head. I am Bigfoot. I tried them on. They fit oh so good. They fit oh so good. They're like walking on a cloud. I could not be happier.
Yeah, so recently we experienced.
It's also my
the
first pair
bird
of new
flu.
shoes
Talk
in
about
like
how that
4 or
affected
5
the
years.
prices.
The bird flu is a horrendous disease. If bird flu walked
Browns are
into
typically
my
the
property
cheapest.
on
Yeah,
someone's shoes,
I've been
if
trying.
a
We
wild
thought we
bird
have a real
brought
good
it in,
local
which is
source. We have a
normally
farmer's
the way it
market here that we
comes
get
in.
all of
Everything's
ours
dead
from. They had a
every
special
day.
on jumbo
Dead.
eggs yesterday. These things are
With no
huge.
apparent reason, and we do
Huge.
everything
We
we
also
can
have a
to
couple.
stop it from coming in.
There's a couple on the lake next to me that also sells duck eggs during the summer. I'm really hoping they're going to be up and operational here pretty quick because I want some duck eggs. I love duck
Here,
eggs.
that's why we don't let anybody
Duck eggs
near
are
our
so
chickens.
good.
That's why all of our bleach baths are here. That's why we spray our cages every single 2 or 3 days. If you get into the big, huge facilities, I'm sure they've got a
Jumbo eggs for hard-boiled eggs?
Yeah,
Yeah, that's such a smart play. That's such a smart play. I love hard-boiled
the
eggs.
cross-contamination is very well
I love hard-boiled eggs.
cared
I
for.
just
We lost
dislike making
tens
hard-boiled
of millions of
eggs.
birds across this country. And that's when our egg prices went sky high because there were no chickens. There was no chickens to lay the eggs.
Yes.
Now that the chickens have been replenished, they didn't lower my prices for my bag of food. I'm still paying the same thing I did when they raised it 3-4 years ago. But thank God we haven't had a bird flu here in Las Vegas that's been rampant this year. I don't even let the inspectors in here. We want to come in and check. I said, I'll hand you a chicken's butt and you can do whatever you need with your Q-tip, but you are not coming in my property.
Yeah.
What are they checking for when they come
Peel
by?
them and drop them in pickle juice? Interesting. Little pickled egg.
Bird, and I'm grateful that they're doing that, but they're not walking around my property.
What's
when
your
they get on
solution
every
for
bird
peeling a
property
good
in the
hard-boiled
city
egg? I feel like
before they
I
showed up here
struggle to
with the
peel
same
them.
little white suit on.
Every time I try and peel my
So I'm
hard-boiled
pretty
eggs, the shell just
careful
breaks
that
into
way.
a million pieces and
Sometimes,
comes
you know,
off one little
I'm a
tidbit at a
pretty
time.
strong
I can never get
woman,
the
and
shell
I
to
just
just
do
come right
whatever
off
I
of them.
can to protect my birds.
Where do you think the future of this industry is headed?
The industry
Keep Bill
of
Gates
raising
away from your
chickens and
birds.
eggs,
Damn straight,
you know,
sourpuss.
they put
Damn
so
straight,
many
dude.
additives in the feed.
Do not let Billy
I don't
Boy near
understand
any
why
of your
people don't
livestock.
understand.
Ice bath out of the
In
Instant
order to
Pot?
get a white yolk,
Interesting,
you
interesting,
just feed
interesting.
a white-based product.
Cooking with
like
baking
wheat
soda and
or-
use
or
jumbo?
something
Gotcha,
that's
gotcha,
very
gotcha,
light.
gotcha, gotcha.
If
Awesome,
you
awesome,
want
awesome.
something that's a little more yellow, you'll feed something else with more carotenoids in it, and you'll be able to get a darker yolk, but that doesn't mean it's a better yolk. However, years ago, they decided, well, we can't have these real light yolks, so we're going to add carrots and marigolds and red peppers, and we're going to add that to our feed to increase our yolk color. Well, that got too expensive. So they just synthesized it, and now they've got chemicals that do the same thing to raise up the color of the yolks. So you can't tell if a yolk's been fed like that.
Right.
Almost every package that you read has got some kind of an additive that is doing something to increase
BlackRock
the
Vanguard in your
or
eggs.
whatever they want to call.
They're not only just stealing all the houses now, they're in the eggs. Not what we're looking for. Not what we're looking for. Not one bit.
It, but it's not a whole lot of natural stuff going out there.
Do you think this affects the nutrition of the egg as well?
It doesn't affect, probably not the nutrition of the egg. It probably affects our nutrition because we're eating it. It's coming into our bodies.
Right.
And that you've got to be careful with no matter what you purchase. It doesn't matter. We're as natural as we can be without
Leading the
using
witness,
chemicals
yes, indeed.
for our birds or our animals, so that we have the best product that we can. When we raise our vegetables and our fruits, we do not spray them with chemicals, whether it's my chickens crawling around eating all the bugs or whether it's us washing
Ice bath
them off
helps and
with
everything
soap and
Sourpuss is
water.
saying. True.
That's a good thing for us.
I'm going to have to try it out on my next batch. I'm
One more
planning on
question.
making some
What is the
tomorrow.
difference between labeling like
However, it's going to be difficult because I'm on a 72-hour fast, and putting a whole bunch of hard-boiled eggs in front of myself is not going to be easy. Sampling one is going to be hard not to do.
pasture raised,
Hard
free
not to do.
range, cage free?
That
What does
over-the-counter
mean to
stuff
you?
I
You can
took
look
really
up
did
a
help, Benny. It
website
really did
called
help.
How
Makes
to
me think I
Decode
should go
Your
back
Egg
on
Garden.
Panto.
And it's
Makes me
really
think
a
I should go
nice
back on
little
Panto.
informational site. And it'll
Feel a lot
say,
better right now.
if you want pasture raised, they don't necessarily get to step on the pasture. They get to maybe see the pasture. Cage free might be a thing that I think is a good thing. What they were on was the size of an 8x10 sheet of paper in a cage that big for their life. Now they're in a big, huge open cage or a barn that has maybe 100,000 or more. And I think that's a little better than the tiny cages. So cage free does mean that.
So I'm sure a lot of people who live in Vegas and watch this video, they're going to come visit your farm.
I hope so.
Yes, and so what else can the viewers do to support your farm?
Attend. I'm open every Saturday and Sunday from 9 to 4. The majority of the people
Doesn't
that
she
help
that
me
here on this
are all
video?
volunteers,
That here? I feel like that's a
including
typo.
myself. I haven't had a paycheck in over 50 years. All the money that comes in from our market sales, number one priority is the animals. Animals feed, animals care, animals cleanliness, vet bills.
Say that in the video.
habitats,
I don't know.
fly
They had something
I've had
about cooking
vacation
eggs
in over
earlier, but it was an
45 years.
advertisement, so I kind of
I'm
just
not buying
changed
new
it out.
clothes.
Or
I'm
skipped
not
it. I
doing
just skipped
that.
it over.
What we do here is care for animals.
You know how I am with
That's our number one
advertisements
job,
in
care
these
for these
videos. I
animals.
do tend
Well,
to
Sharon,
skip
thank
them
you so much for
frequently.
your time.
Thank you so much for coming. I hope that if people have questions when they're here, ask me.
Beautiful.
I can answer some of them. This is an old Peruvian mulberry tree. It's got the most glorious mulberries you've ever seen.
Wow.
The next time you come out, we'll talk about maybe
That's such a
gardening,
cool little
what-
farm
what
there.
food that we
I would
grow that
love a
we
little
feed back
homestead
to
like
our
that, man. I
chickens.
robbed myself of that.
We have a pavilion
I robbed
here.
myself of that.
We have the chapel here.
It's like the most beautiful farm I've ever been to. Like, for real. Really, it is.
Beautiful. This is good to hear. Good to hear. And we try to keep it clean. We try to keep it in order. And we've got an awful lot of peacocks that can cause me some grief. Because
Peacocks?
peacocks poop like a Saint Bernard.
I want a peacock. I want a peacock
They
egg.
can really
You know what I
cause
want?
havoc. You'll notice all
You know what I
of our
want?
garden area is always
You know what I want? And I looked at them yesterday. There's a local farm that does have them. And do them. Ostrich eggs. I want to experience an ostrich egg at least one time. I've heard they're the equivalent of 24 eggs. I will scramble an ostrich egg and eat the entire thing in one go.
covered. Because
I
they
will
will
indeed.
eat up a vegetable in a second. But if I lock up or get rid of the peacocks in some form, the people go nuts. So we have to have some kind of, look at that. How is it that that bird, every single time in 50 years I see that bird or anyone like it, I have to stop. and
Counter
say,
refrigeration,
oh
gotcha.
My God, what a gorgeous.
That's probably when I was dealing with that Twitch impersonator that whole time and I was rambling off.
Yes.
We had a Twitch person come in. I knew what they were doing, but I kind of thought maybe they weren't because they played it off really, really good. But I got suckered into it again, and they got kicked to the curb.
In our culture, the peacock is considered a royal symbol. And so a lot of Asian Chinese people, when they see peacocks in America, they say, wow, oh my God.
They love it. We have,
They are
I
such
have
beautiful
probably
creatures, man.
one of the few
Look at the coloring on his neck. Look at that blue, dude.
Now, why would anybody
That like
look at this
royal
bird
dark blue. It's
say, I
such a
know what
cool
let's
color.
do. Let's breed all the color out of that bird and make it white. Why would anybody do that? However, the white birds are gorgeous.
Well, turkeys in my hood, big flock of 18. I get turkeys out here all the time. I get turkeys out here so much.
They're just phenomenal. Wow. These birds are amazing. They probably live 15, 20 years. Wow. We have a lot of them. Anybody says, well, how many peacocks do you have, Sharon?
Yeah.
I say, I have enough. That's my answer.
I really hope you learned something from Sharon before you go out and buy your next carton of eggs. And if you're local to Las Vegas or even just visiting the area, I highly recommend stopping by the Las Vegas farm.
That's all you got to do, Sourpuss. Just run out there. Just grab one.
And it's not just about
You
buying
can just
better
go grab
eggs, it's also
turkeys.
about supporting
No one's going to
farmers
stop
that
you.
are
You can
actually
just go
doing
grab
things the
one.
right way. Every dollar you spend is a vote. And if more people start voting for farms like this, we don't just get better food.
Sin
we
City.
keep this
Yes,
entire way of
indeed.
doing
I've
things
never
alive.
been to
Now,
Vegas.
before I
I've been
wrap
to
up, I
Reno
wanna
like
share
2 or
something
3
that I've been
times. I've been to
incorporating
Reno,
every
but I've
single
never been to
night
Vegas.
to make sure that
I think I'm
am
good.
sleeping as
I think
best
I'm
as
good.
possible.
I
You
think
guys
I think
all
the
know
times
by
of
now
me
that
enjoying
sleep is one of
Vegas are
the
long gone.
Major pillars of
Or
health
having the
and
ability to
energy and
enjoy
vitality
Vegas are
and
gone.
longevity. So one thing
Long
that I feel
in
like
the past.
anybody can do after watching this
Not
video,
that fast.
watching this video, and start this one already,
Yeah, I'm not that fast
I have
either.
some
I'm not that
red-colored
fast
food
either.
blockers like this. So I'll put it on. These ones are from Bon Charge, and I always wear the deepest, darkest red.
This is an
black down the
advertisement.
skin
This
and
is an
gives that extra
advertisement. This is an advertisement. All right, guys. So we got our little Bella fix in for the day. That was a really cool video. That's probably one of the best videos I've seen her do in a while. Very, very interesting. That farmer was super, super cool. The farm was cool. Peacocks are amazing. I'm going to take a couple-minute break here to go fill my water up. We'll get some music going for you guys. I'll be right back, and we're going to look at a nice long video on every possible way to cook brisket. And I can't wait for that because I sure love some brisket. I'll be right back. All right, I'm back. I'm back. I'm back. Come here. Come on, you gotta get up here. Come on. Come here. Come on, get here. Up there. You gotta get up here. If you want a treat, you gotta come say hello. You gotta come say hello. Trying to coax the dog into an on-screen appearance. We'll see if it works. You want to come up here? Come on. Come here. Okay. You're not getting paid then. Yeah, come up here. Okay, you can just have a treat. You can just have a treat. Bum, 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 bum. Woo-hoo. Here you go, puppy. Here you go. There you go, puppers. All right. Nothing like some soothing accordion to set the mood. All right. What are we doing? All right, let's take a look at some brisket, shall we?
Test the limits of flavor.
That is insane.
Downright diabolical methods that should never be recreated.
We're gonna do some brisket. We're gonna get a nice
And
pump on.
experiments
We're
that
gonna
have
pump.
completely transformed everything I thought I knew about brisket.
I'm definitely gonna make this.
Are we on the verge of a brisket revolution, or is simple really best? Let's find out. Okay, our rotisserie brisket has been on for 7 hours. Let's check this out. I mean, just take a look at this brisket. This looks absolutely beautiful. This is only our first of the day, and the briskets will only get crazier, but either way, this looks unreal.
That does look
if I can
phenomenal.
just slide it right off. The fat just feels like extra caramelized and rendered.
Oh.
I'm not gonna lie, it actually seems very tender. Let's slice. Definitely doesn't have quite the same pullable texture as a low and slow brisket, but visually it's still looking very promising. All right, guys, I hope you are ready for brisket. This one looks crazy.
I'm pumped for some brisket.
I love brisket.
Cheers.
I like that. It's like caramelized onion on the outside.
Yeah.
It's like sticky, but in a good way.
Completely different bark than a regular brisket. If you think about a rotisserie, it's being cooled at the top and then just literally thousands of times being exposed to direct heat. The bark on this is so unique.
I love that there's just a subtle smoky flavor. It's not like a smoked Texas style brisket.
I will say this is a lot less tender than a typical smoked brisket, for better or worse. All that said, the way we are ranking these today is very simple. Is it better or worse than a regular Texas barbecue brisket?
Worse.
1, 2, 3. Flavor was so good, but the texture just wasn't quite there. But I respect it, Sophia. Let's move on. Next up, we're gonna
This thing
attempt to
hurts
make
today.
the world's biggest burnt end, and I could not be more excited. Debatably, the best bite in barbecue is a brisket burnt end. So what if we turned an entire brisket point into one? Scoring the fatty point like this should dramatically increase the surface area for smoke, seasoning, and sauce, and essentially convert the entire side of this brisket into built-in burnt ends. At least that's the goal. And we'll get it on the smoker. Well, guys, we are 12 hours in, and I could not imagine this thing looking any better. The burnt ends have sort of separated and popped out exactly the way I was hoping. And just like any good burnt end, time to sauce. Focusing the barbecue sauce on the point side.
Oh, bad Bobo sauce.
all
Bad
those
Bobo
nooks and
sauce.
Crannies, and back on the smoker to tack up. And just like that, the world's largest burnt end is finally done. Honestly, this might be the most excited I've ever been to slice into a brisket. And just take a look at that cross section. I've never seen anything like this. We have those big caramelized burnt ends over the top of the juicy meat. It is literally everything I could ever want in a piece of barbecue. Sweet, savory, juicy.
They make videos together quite a bit, Benny Bob. This is Massive Meat guys. This is a massive channel.
This is the cutest little
Yeah,
brisket I've ever seen.
9.19 million subscribers. I'm pretty sure that Max the Meat Guy's channel has more subs than Guga's second channel, and Sous Vide everything combined. This guy is big, dude. Big,
This
big,
I
big.
can get behind.
That is a bite of meat right there. You get the tender flat below, but you also get that saucy, caramelized burnt end over the top. Wow.
This is even better than normal burnt ends because of all that surface area on top.
This is a great bark. It's so flavorful. You get pepper, you get smoke, it's tacky. I feel like this is the best of the day.
All right, better or worse than a Texas barbecue brisket? I mean,
What mic do I have? I have a
literally
Sennheiser profile.
everything you want in a
Sennheiser
normal
profile.
Texas barbecue brisket, but
Works really good.
this whole
Works
place.
fantastic. It's been, I probably got this like 3 or 4 months ago. Working really good.
This next one is
Quite
as
good,
questionable
quite
as
good
it gets,
indeed.
But some things must be done in the
Or if I
name
want
of
terrible
brisket.
sound quality, I can put this one
Time
down.
for brisket.
I'm not going to do that. I'm going to spare everyone's ears.
Microwave. I truly have no idea what to expect.
I'm
but
so sorry. Is he about to
microwaves can get
microwave
food
the brisket?
Extremely hot. So if we leave it in there long enough, I can't think of a reason why it wouldn't work. Get her open. Adding in the brisket. We'll get it shut. Popcorn, potato, pizza, veggies, beverage. Where's the raw brisket section? I'll start with 60 minutes. Let's see what happens. Just microwaving, low and slow, baby. Okay, it's been about 30 minutes. Let's check on our progress. It's a little bit pale, but that is definitely cooking.
Ugh.
Check the temp. Still quite undercooked, but not bad. Just gonna flip it around.
I'm
and
not
we'll get it
quite
back
sure
in the
how I
microwave.
feel about this.
Okay, it has been just about exactly an hour and 45 minutes. Let's see what we got. Guys, I'm just gonna say it. I actually think this brisket came out amazing. Just take a look at it. For one, we got a shockingly good looking microwave crust. I mean, I've seen worse crusts come off of smokers before. I mean, it smells absolutely delicious somehow, and it feels tender. Time for the moment of truth. Honestly, some pretty good moisture in there, though I can't lie, certainly not the most beautiful brisket I've ever sliced into. I mean, it doesn't smell bad, but it smells like microwaved meat. Just let you guys fill in the blank there in your mind mentally. Bit of
I know
a
exactly what he's
stringy
talking about.
texture, but for a brisket cooked in under 2 hours in a microwave, am I allowed to say it doesn't look that bad? You guys knew this would come. Microwaved brisket.
Why does that have a bark?
I've had worse briskets at barbecue restaurants before. That is not bad.
That's exactly what I was gonna say. This is not a good brisket, but I wouldn't think that's microwave.
Not at all. It tastes like a crappy pot roast in the best way possible.
I got a big bite of the point, and it is not rendered.
Really? The piece I had was so good.
No, I bit into it, and I could hear the going through each sinewy, chewy, briskety.
It's genuinely not bad.
It's like,
Got him, you got me.
not better, but shockingly, not bad. Okay, next up, we are attempting the craziest thing I've ever tried with brisket. I'm going to attempt to turn this into bresaola, which is essentially beef prosciutto. I've never done this with a cut as big as
Interesting.
brisket, so this could
Now, I'm a big
easily
fan of
end up
prosciutto.
taking months.
Nice little
That's why I'm
prosciutto
trimming
do
the
you
fat
good.
aggressively so it's nice and uniform. Okay, this should be pretty good. Now, from here, getting the brisket to its final cured form is a two-step process. Step one is a salt cure. It includes roughly 2.5% of the meat weight in salt and a variety of herbs, making sure to season thoroughly. Now we'll go into a vacuum bag, making sure to add in all that excess seasoning. We'll get it all sealed up like so, almost forcing that salt and all those flavors to absorb deeply. From here, we'll let this sit in the fridge for
Sous
about a
vide.
week. We've let it cure for 10 long days, and our brisket is finally ready to be air dried. Only thing left to do is to get it on a rack, and finally it's into the curing chamber for the next 10
Oh,
minutes.
no, he's curing it. Why did I think he was just doing that to seal the flavors in? I thought he was actually going to sous vide the thing.
Philly cheesesteak. Brisket, mashed potato, steak sandwich.
Max, it's been 10 weeks. Wake up. Wake up, Max. It's been 10 weeks.
Cal, how long have I been out for?
About 10 weeks.
Got the old Rumpelstiltskin treatment. Rumpelstiltskin.
Okay, this is not what I was expecting. Gotta be honest,
Ooh.
this is looking absolutely wild. But what's also looking absolutely wild is me. I think it's time for a haircut. I'll be back in a second. Much better. All right, guys, just take a look at what happened to our little brisket. And when I mean little,
I mean little.
this thing has shrunk in size substantially. It is like razor thin at this point. Not to mention, it is basically hard as a rock. The other thing you'll notice is it has developed some white mold. This is actually very common when it comes to charcuterie and not necessarily a bad sign. Well, is this thing still edible, or did we just completely waste the past 10 weeks? Let's find out. Super thick pellicle. This is the craziest cross-section I've seen in a very long time.
Interesting.
The outside looks like a fossil, but the inside does have this beautiful deep red color to it. Honestly, it feels like I'm cutting through wood, but sometimes looks can be deceiving. Let's see how our attempt at brisket bresaola actually tastes. No judgment, we try.
It's actually really good.
Okay.
It's amazing.
It tastes so much better than it looks.
It's like brisket pepperoni.
Very rich, extra creamy, and a nice mild beef flavor.
There's something awesome about curing your own meat because you know what goes into it. Like homemade bacon, 10 times better than store-bought bacon.
What I will say though is I still don't know if this is fully edible. The amount of mold on there is sketching me out just a little bit.
Thanks for telling us right after we took a bite of it.
Well, I wanted to make sure you guys actually tasted it. I'm not gonna act like this went perfectly. Like that got way too thin. The outer pellicle is so thick. There's very limited actual edible meat. But for my first try, I'm not mad about it. Is it actually better than a perfectly smoked Texas barbecue brisket?
No.
Not quite, but for what it is, I'm pretty happy.
100%.
This is the one I am by far most
I would definitely
excited
try
about
that.
because
I would
we're cooking
100%
this
try
brisket
that.
with electricity. Specifically, the Presto hot dogger. So this is a discontinued food gadget that literally electrocutes hot dogs. Let's see if it works on brisket. It's apparently great for busy mothers, family vacations, dorm students, parties, but what about brisket? So normally you'd stick hot dogs on these prongs, basically sending an electric volt across said dogs, cooking them from the inside out. You know the rules. If it works on dogs, it's gotta work on brisket. I'll remove a nice
One would
slice
think,
of
anyway.
brisket. This size here should be perfect. Like any good electrocuted brisket, we'll season with just salt. And now we'll see if we can attach our brisket, inserting through the prongs on this first side, kind of curling it up and letting it slide into the other side. We'll combine with the rest of the unit, with a tight squeeze. And finally, let's see if this works. Oh, I think I'm actually starting to hear something. What? Ooh, oh wait, it's actually getting warm.
Wow.
We are officially cruising. What is, okay, what is that? Ooh, okay, it does not smell very good. Is that fire below? There's literally sparks going through the bottom as we cook this brisket with electricity.
I think I know why they took this
thing
one
is
off the
either
market,
smoking to
guys.
perfection,
Not
or
100%
we
sure,
are
but I
about
have a
to
distinct
short-circuit the
feeling.
entire house. Let's let it keep cooking and find out.
3 hours later.
This thing is looking extremely pale. Take a look at all the liquid that's kind of fell to the bottom there. That is absurd.
I don't like that
Now I'll
color.
do my
I
best
don't
here.
like that color. I'm not a fan of that color one bit.
Just removing the brisket from the electric prongs. I mean, that right there straight up looks like death. The holes on this side are just absurd. But the big question, is this thing actually cooked? That really doesn't look half bad. But the weird thing is, the inside is more cooked than the outside. Like, that is just completely pink on the bottom.
Of course, that's
there.
where your diode's
That's
gonna
because
be
I think it actually did cook from the inside out. Easily the most disturbing looking piece of meat we've ever had in this studio. Let's see what the team thinks. Okay, this one I'd say consume at your own risk.
What the hell is that hole in my brisket?
All righty, and go.
Psych!
Oh, you didn't actually, okay.
The meat tasted good, but the lead tasted even better.
I'll let you rank this.
The
one.
lead
That's gonna
tasted
be,
even
like,
better.
as far down as you can possibly get. That was disgusting. Somehow it tasted like a chemical. But let me know what you think, Sophia.
Kyle, that was a perfect description. Let's move on.
He
We're
decides
cooking
to
this
close
next
and not
brisket
touch, uh-huh.
Churrasco style. Brazilian picanha churrasco style might just be my all-time favorite way to eat steak. But picanha and brisket are completely different cuts of beef. So honestly, I have no idea if this will actually work on brisket, but I do know to give us the best shot, it's very important that we locate the grain. With the grain running precisely this way, we'll take our knife and find what is exactly perpendicular and take our slices. Picanha is what would be considered a tender cut, while brisket most certainly is not, so I'd kind of be shocked if this ends up working, but some things must be done in the name of brisket science. And we'll get them on the skewers. Following the Brazilian picanha playbook, adding 3 beautiful brisket steaks to each skewer, and seasoning heavily with just coarse rocks.
I feel like this
And
one's gonna
let's
turn
get
out
'em
really,
on the
really
grill.
good.
The cool thing is that picanha and brisket both have a very similar fat cap, and they seem to be cooking the same way. As that fat starts to render, it sort of flares and helps develop that beautiful char. It is wild how similar this looks to picanha. I just hope it tastes even half as good as it looks. One thing I'll say about grilling outside like this, it gets hot, but I think we're just about done. And now, just like we would picanha, we're gonna take some nice thin slices against the grain. Even the toughest cuts can still be tender at medium rare when sliced very thin against the grain. I mean, it is pulling apart very easily. I just really hope this is edible because it was probably the most fun to cook so far. Brazilian churrasco brisket. This might be the most excited I am.
It looks exactly like picanha.
It's actually tender.
I'm shocked. It's tender, you get that char. It really is
Most
like churrasco.
interesting.
Obviously, brisket is not as tender and shouldn't be eaten medium rare like picanha. But when you're slicing it razor thin and it's all char, it works.
And the thing is, brisket is inherently extremely flavorful. So I actually think this has more flavor than picanha. I really think we're onto something.
I think this might be my favorite way I've ever had brisket. It's so good.
This is a toughie for me.
Yeah!
I respect it, but I respect Texas barbecue brisket even more. It's definitely worth trying. This next one should be very interesting. It's time for caveman brisket. Caveman style is when you essentially cook a steak directly on hot coals. You'd think the steak would like
Wrapped or not wrapped, though? That's the big question. Is he just gonna toss it right in the coals? Oh God, no! It just does. Goes right in the coals.
I have no idea what will happen when we do it with a brisket. And let's get it on the coals. Down with the hot charcoal and on with the brisket. Even though those coals are hot, as you can see, it really isn't burning the brisket, sort of slowly developing a nice exterior crust with some great caramelization. It's been 30 minutes of flipping frequently, and this is what it looks like. Okay, this brisket is still essentially completely raw, but the char smell coming off of it is just insane. Instead of wrapping in something like butcher paper, I'm starting with banana leaves to try and further elevate the flavors we've developed and also keep it juicy. And now we continue with the layers. The tinfoil's primary job is to protect the meat and seal everything in. And back outside we go. What I'm essentially doing is burying the brisket in dirt, completely surrounded by hot coals above, below, and on the sides. I imagine this is a similar cooking process a real caveman would have used millions of years ago. Okay,
Probably
it's been 6
not.
hours
Probably
and
not.
I think it's done. And I am dying to see what's going on in here. Oh yeah, it is very much still covered in ash. I kind of feel like it's Christmas. Wow. All right, definitely some char action going on here. And there she is in all her glory. Okay, so initial thoughts, it does actually feel pretty tender and well cooked, though I will say it is crispy. So I actually thought this was all bark here, but turns out the leaf has like stuck to the meat, kind of infused.
Molded
the
into
bark.
it.
It's like a banana leaf shell. But either way, let's slice. Okay, so it does actually look somewhat juicy, but if you take a closer look, look at the point section. It's like fossilized wood at this point. Seems like there was clearly way too much heat coming from the top down, but either way, let's see if it's edible. Caveman brisket. I weirdly like it.
I'm surprised, but it's kind of tender. My biggest issue is it just tastes burnt on the outside.
My biggest issue is this thing is bone dry.
I freaking knew you were gonna say that.
I got pizza the flat and there's like zero moisture in there.
Yeah, it looks like it only retained it in the
best
middle.
part of
Everything
the
else just got
brisket is the
sizzled
bark,
on that
and
thing.
There's just no bark.
But it still has that charred flavor. It's
like
it was sitting on coals for
Burnt flavor.
Sadly, the idea of it is a lot better than the final product. All right, better or worse than a Texas barbecue brisket? Sadly, not today. Out of everything we cooked today, I believe this next one has the best chance of tasting incredible. It's time for jerk brisket. If there's one thing I've learned in my cooking career, it's that few things on planet Earth taste better than a piece of meat covered in a jerk marinade and sauce. You know it's gonna be a good day when your oranges are that juicy. There are so many what to me feel like kind of random ingredients that somehow work together so incredibly well. And finally, for the most important ingredient for authentic jerk chicken, we of course need some Scotch bonnets. I want this thing to be spicy, so going...
Am I the only one who's never heard of a Scotch bonnet? I have no idea what that even is. I have no idea what that even could be.
Heavy with the peppers, and we'll blend it up. You already know I gotta go for a taste here. Wow. That is the most distinctive.
That should be good. It looks good.
That is
it really
a
does.
serious kick, but that is also one of the most complex, just deep flavor profiles you will ever. It is very spicy. I'm actually sweating right now, but that is phenomenal and very spicy. We'll move our brisket to this glass container and we'll completely cover in that super flavorful marinade. And I'll see you guys in about 36 hours. And just like that, we are fully marinated. The smell on this one is just insane. I think this one might be the best of the day. We'll get it onto a rack. I can tell it is just packed with flavor. And we'll get it on the smoker. Well guys, it has taken a solid 14 hours to get to this point. Finishing with some of that extra reduced jerk marinade right over the top to act as a flavorful saucy glaze, and back on the smoker to tack up. And finally, our Jamaican jerk brisket is done. I mean, the color looks phenomenal. You can see the texture of all those marinade ingredients. My mouth is watering. Now, I've cooked many briskets in my day, but this one is looking up there. Let's slice. It looks perfectly juicy. Clearly, it is very, very tender, but what it all comes down to is how it actually tastes. Jerk brisket.
That's where it's at.
Just a way deeper and more complex flavor profile than a regular brisket. Wow.
And I think altogether it cuts down on the fattiness of a brisket, and I love this one.
The inside is so tender and juicy.
As a man who's been
outside, the
fasting
bark is like tacky.
for 30 plus hours right now, I'm about to jump through the screen. I truly am. I truly, truly am.
And caramelized, a little spicy.
The spice level is also so addictive. Like, it's a bit subtle, but it's definitely there and just kind of lingers. There's just something about Jamaican jerk. There's just nothing like it. You get the smoke flavor, you get the marinated jerk flavor in there, and you also get the glaze.
It doesn't impede on making a bark.
It almost makes it better.
Scotch bonnets and habanero have the same
tacky,
amount of
and
heat,
that
but the bonnet is
tackiness
sweeter and
absorbs all
fruitier
the
according to
smoky
Google.
and
Ooh,
yummy flavors.
sign me up then. Absolutely sign me up.
Jamaican jerky.
Let us know down in the comments if you guys would try Jamaican jerk Max Jerky. Also, now's probably a good time to remind you guys, if you want to support the channel, check out maxjerky.com. Right now, through the end of the year, we have a 40% discount, our biggest discount of the year. Use code HOLIDAY40 and take advantage. Better or worse than a Texas barbecue brisket?
Dude, this has to be a thing.
This is one I'm actually very excited to see the results of. It's time for the air fryer brisket. Brisket can be one of those intimidating cuts that
The air fryer doesn't let me down often, so I'm very curious to see how this
I
one
want to
turns
find
out.
out if the average home cook with an air fryer.
Although I'll tell you what, I've been using my air fryer a lot less
fatty
lately,
point
a lot
section to
less.
Give ourselves the best shot and trimming off most of that hard exterior fat. Seasoning with just salt and pepper, and it's time to cook. And now into the air fryer set to 275. Let's see what happens. And just like that, it's been cooking for a solid 6 full hours, and it should be done. I mean, this thing is looking like a meteorite, extremely promising looking crust, and just check out how much rendered beef fat came off this thing. Let's slice. Just take a look at the thickness.
Worked
of
for me.
that bark.
Oh, yeah.
That is ridiculous. Besides that absurd bark, I'm not gonna lie, the inside appears to be perfectly cooked. Even though it was an air fryer, the low and slow temp allowed all that collagen to break down, and because we cooked the fatty point, it still looks very juicy. Talk about maxing out the capabilities of an air fryer here. This looks surprisingly good.
I love that.
That was great.
That is bananas. It really has the exact same texture as a slow smoked brisket. Of course, it doesn't have the smoky component, but it is so similar.
I think the one issue with this brisket is the bark is so barky.
It's literally like there's brisket jerky on the outside. The issue here for me though is there's just no smoke. And I just love smoked meats.
Smoking these meats here.
Like Sophia, I don't want
Smoking these meats here. The lizard man himself making an appearance.
There is here. I really like this one.
Okay, better or worse than a Texas barbecue brisket? You are kidding me, Kyle.
Hear me out. I can't make a Texas barbecue brisket at home. I can make this, and I'm gonna make it. That's how good it was.
Extremely high hopes for this one. It's time for brisket shawarma. And this one's gonna require both the leaner flat as well as the fattier point. So what I'll do is start by slicing right in half, just like this, and we'll take some slices of the flat. Keeping the slices very thin, which should help with flavor penetration from the marinade and also lead to a tender bite. And now we'll move on to the point. And just like that, time to marinate. This shawarma marinade has a variety of warm spices, garlic, and a whole bunch of lemon. It already smells unreal. And we'll let this sit overnight. Okay, we have been marinating for about 12 hours and the smell coming off this is insane. We'll get it on the spit, and what I'm doing here is just alternating between the leaner flat and the more rich point section to hopefully give us a really nice combination of that richness and also beefy flavor. Next up, it's time for the Shawarma Master 5000. And we'll add that beautiful tower of meat. We'll close it up and let it cook. Been about 45 minutes and we definitely have a nice deep char going on. And slicing into it, I mean, it looks outrageously juicy. It's kind of crazy to see brisket sliced and prepared in this format. And we'll assemble the shawarma.
Some naan bread.
Piling that meat high with a bunch of vegetables and some pickles. I think it's time we give this.
I love
bad boy
shawarma
a
though.
taste.
It's so
Brisket
good.
shawarma.
That flavor is insane.
I cannot believe
that's not butter.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I cannot believe that that's brisket. It's so tender. The flavor profile is out of control. As a sandwich, shawarmas are just supreme. But the
You're
meat
using liquid
itself,
smoke. You don't
if you
taste
told me that
smoke
was
without
like
using
sliced
potassium nitrate. You don't
sirloin
get
or
that
even
smoke
ribeye,
ring.
I
Yep,
would
yep,
believe
yep, yep.
I'm shocked at how tender it actually turned out though. There is not a piece in there.
I have
that
never
is
been a fan
not
of liquid
tender.
smoke.
I love this style.
Never been a fan of
Packed
liquid
with
smoke.
flavor, and it's so tender. Everything just comes together so well in that whole entire little shawarma. Those caramelized bites are so good.
Definitely the highlight. Let's vote.
Whoa, no way. I am still in shock.
Nurse, get me that defibrillator. We got another patient in shock.
Thanks, Doc.
Would I rather eat a Texas barbecue brisket or would I rather eat a brisket in this form? And it's this all day. For our next brisket, we're actually gonna try cooking it like a steak, but there's a twist. Brisket cooked to medium rare like a steak would normally be way too tough, but I did recently test every meat tenderizer and flavor enhancer with some extremely successful results. So with this brisket, I'm gonna combine the top 8 methods to see if we can turn this otherwise tough cut into a delicious and tender medium rare steak. Step 1, dry brine. Seasoning before cooking.
If you go back and look at some of my earlier videos, and I was laughing about this the other day. So when I first started carnivore, I said, I'm going to go get a chuck roll. I'm going to process my own meat. I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be Mr. Meat Chops himself. Grabbed a brisket. I absolutely grabbed a brisket before I did anything else. Thought it was a chuck roll and processed it into steaks and then proceeded to cook the steaks and eat it and act like I knew what the fuck I was talking about. I sure didn't. I did that twice before I figured it out, by the way. Twice before I figured that out. Twice.
The dry brine not only enhances juiciness, but will also drastically improve the crust. And just like that, we've let it dry brine overnight, and as you can see, it is now completely dry as all of that salt has penetrated. Step 2, it's time for some manual tenderization. Poking holes breaks down the muscle fibers, basically doing your teeth's job for you ahead of time, and ultimately playing a huge role in tenderness. Step 3, it's powdered tenderizer. The active ingredient called bromelain is also found in pineapples, and it is highly effective when it comes to tenderizing. And we'll just let that absorb for about 30 minutes. Okay,
Molten
step
salt is good,
4
but I can't
is
taste
time
the
to hit
smoke
it
in
with a
Molden's either.
thin
Dude,
layer
oh, I
of
gotta show you
cheese.
something.
Technically not a
I'm big again.
tenderizer,
Sorry
but
about
it
that.
should add a layer
Salty
of
Provisions
umami
sent me a
that'll take
really
the
big
steak
sampler
brisket
yesterday. I got a
to the
lot
next
of stuff to
level.
try
Step
out. I got a
5,
lot of cool stuff to try out.
cold smoke. You already know we're smoking with applewood, giving it a subtle but beautifully smoky undertone. Step 6.
Nah, I hear a puppy.
Ragu tallow injection.
I hear a puppy.
Basically
Where's the
giving
puppy?
it artificial marbling. Oh my god. This stuff is getting freaking everywhere, you know? I think I know why it's shooting everywhere. I just stabbed it with about 4,000 holes. It's all making sense now. All right, we're gonna move on to step 7. Finally, we get to cook. Step 7, it's butter-based. It starts with a sear, keeping the heat a bit lower since brisket is super thick.
I did hear a
Just
puppy.
Check out that crust. Now we add the butter, herbs, and garlic, spooning that hot butter over the
Be right back, everybody. I'm back again. Yes.
We're cooking it from all sides now, and really...
Again, mind you, this is coming from a guy who used to think a brisket was a chuck roll and tried to process steaks out of it and just cooked them. I didn't do any of the tenderization we just saw in this video. I just cooked them and thought I knew what I was doing. My, how
really setting a dark mahogany crust. I mean, visually, this looks like a 10
Isn't
out of
it?
10. I'm just hoping
dumb.
all this work was actually
I don't know.
worth it. Now, before we slice our final step,
Love you,
is
drive
compound
safe.
butter. Adding the flavored compound butter below the steak allows that hot brisket to melt over it, thus preserving the top crust while also creating this buttery bed. Finally, the
Buttery
moment of
bed.
truth, it's time to slice. It almost reminds me visually of like a medium rare flank steak, just very, very juicy. It all comes down to this. Let's find out how it tastes. Brisket cooked like a steak.
Ew.
I kind of like it.
Really?
It's almost like a sirloin.
It tastes like we took a brisket and put it through 8 sets of modifications to do our best to make it tender, which is exactly what we did, and the result is something that tastes exactly like we did that. It's just like manufactured.
The crust tasted amazing. The first bite, amazing.
Okay.
Then you start chewing, and I don't know how it could get that bad.
I think it's pretty clear.
Garbage. I used to cut up briskets into steaks. I can confirm they're not the best. They tenderized it with all these majestic, magical ways. Just think mine was just thrown in a pan and cooked. That's all I did. That's all I did.
You already knew this one was coming. It's time for deep fried brisket. The immediate issue in my head is that deep frying is normally a hot and fast cook process.
Which
while
for a great
generally,
hamburger meat?
brisket
Interesting.
requires a low and slow cook process. So using the fatty point section here to hopefully protect the meat from drying out while it spends hours in that hot oil. And it is finally time to add our brisket to the oil. What I've decided to do is to keep the oil relatively low to start. Just like that, we are 3 hours in. The color is looking honestly beautiful. I mean, this is as mahogany as the color mahogany can possibly get.
Mahogany.
Interestingly, the brisket reached 205 Fahrenheit internal in just 1 hour, which is normally the final internal cooking temp of a smoked brisket. However, it wasn't probe tender until a full 3 hours of cooking. A reminder that cooking to probe tenderness is way more important than cooking to a specific internal temp. Wow.
Well, I don't know what probe tender is, though. Hold on. Oh, come on. Probe tender. Probe tender, also called probe tenderness, is a common term in barbecue and low and slow cooking, especially for brisket, pork butt, and other tough cuts. It refers to the point when the meat is fully tender and done, not based on a specific internal temperature, but on how the probe feels when you insert it. You slide a thin metal probe, your meat thermometer's probe, an instant read thermometer, even a toothpick skewer into the thickest part of the meat. It should go in with little to no resistance, like pushing a hot knife through warm butter or a warm stick of butter. It glides smoothly and comes out easily. If there's any drag, tightness, or gripping feel, the connective tissue collagen haven't fully broken down into gelatin yet, so the meat needs more time. This seems like the worst gauge of cooking for me. I'm a man who needs specifics. I need to see temperatures. If I don't have temperatures and numbers and thermometers to look at, then I am clueless when it comes to cooking.
That is what I call a strong crust. Wow. All right, I can't even, is this knife sharp at all? Oh my God. Gonna move over to a serrated knife. I mean, despite the crazy crust, it still looks very juicy in there. I mean, yeah, that is just as juicy as it gets. But look at the thickness of the crust. It's like gotta be at least 1/4 of an inch. It's gotta be extremely flavorful. Only a few hours of cook time, but it looks like this brisket stayed super juicy. And as you can see, fall apart tender. I am dying to see how this one is.
That bark is thick.
That's a thick old boy.
We said that air fried bark was thick with like 3 C's. Double it for this one.
I love it.
It's not bad.
It reminds me of Peking duck skin. Maybe needs a little bit of salt, but the texture and the flavor is incredible.
I actually really don't like it.
Really?
I'm getting oil flavor on it.
It's so tender. And I'm getting a little oily flavor, but it's not too overpowering. Is it my favorite? No.
Better or worse than a Texas brisket? Good, but hard to beat the king. This next one is an attempt at the world's best tasting Chinese pork dish, but this time with brisket. What we are attempting is perhaps the first ever Hong Shao Rou in brisket form. If you don't know what Hong Shao Rou is, you absolutely need to learn. It's basically Chinese pork belly burnt ends in this sticky, sweet sauce. It's literally something I ate probably 5 times a week when I lived in Asia. Squared off our brisket into one giant block, which should be the perfect shape. And let's assemble. Starting with a bed of green onions and some ginger. Now we go on with our brisket, just kind of nestling it over all those aromatics. And finishing with some additional Chinese flavors and very specifically adding rock sugar over the top. We'll let it come to a boil and let it finish cooking. Okay, this has taken significantly longer than I originally thought, but it's been 5 hours and it should be done. It is just so tender at this point, and of course adding the most important part over the top. This glossy sauce is something I dream about regularly, and as you can see, the brisket is just pull apart tender. I am dying to finally give this one a shot. Let's give this one a taste.
That flavor profile is the best in the world.
Amazing flavor on that.
It gives a little bit of sweetness. You get those aromatics, the ginger in there.
Like a fried turkey?
So
Yeah, boy.
Different than anything else we've had today.
There's almost a bar.
You know,
I'm a huge
it's been a
fan of
long
this one.
time since
But
I've
how
had
does it
turkey.
compare
It's been a
to
very
Texas
long
barbecue
time.
brisket?
Whoa, no way.
For me, it's like 51-49. It is so close. But if I really think about it, what would I prefer eating? It's gotta be this. This next one is a unique twist on 2 absolute classics. You know we couldn't do a brisket video without the iconic pastrami and corned beef. We'll need a whole bunch of water.
Oh, I
Assemble
love
the
corned beef.
brine, starting with some salt, some sugar, pink curing salt for that distinctive cured color and taste, pickling spice, as well as some garlic. And finally, we go in with the brisket. And I'll see you guys in about a week. Okay guys, so one thing we don't always show is the dark side of making meat videos like this, because sometimes bad things happen, okay? I just tried removing the pastrami brisket out of the fridge. The entire tub just broke, meaning all the liquid is now on the ground, including our brisket. So what that means is for the next hour, we're gonna be doing some cleaning. Needless to say, an absolute disaster. I do have one request. If you enjoy our videos and you're not subscribed yet, please take this small amount of time, click the little button. It would mean the world to me. Well guys, managed to salvage this brisket.
Floor
And
brisket.
This is what it looks like.
Floor
The beauty of
snack.
both pastrami and corned beef is that the cure step is essentially the same on both. So from here, it's time
I
to
stay away from it because
Now
the legs are
remember, with
lean.
this
I don't like
brisket,
eating
we're
fat,
cutting
just
it
eat
2
fat.
ways,
Yep.
So we'll cut it in half. You can see here.
Funny story for you. So when I started back on carnivore a couple days ago, because I had some downtime. I had some downtime there eating bad. When I started carnivore back up, we did a chuck roast. We actually spent some extra money and got a very, very special chuck roast the other day. It's from the local farmer's market. It's local, grass-fed, grass-finished, like the best beef you can possibly get. A couple bucks more a pound, absolutely worth it. Well, the fat rendered down so perfect that I put it in as broth. So I finished up all this chuck roast, pull apart, tender, just melt in your mouth, so good. And at the end, I drank the broth at the bottom, which is pretty much pure fat, which I'm used to doing. Every time we do a chuck roast, I always drink what's left over in my bowl when I'm done. Well, my body was no longer fat adapted. Damn near shit my pants. No joke. Didn't do it. It was very close. When you're not fat adapted anymore, do not drink liquid fat from the chuck roast. I am telling you right now, do not do it. Don't do it.
Inside how it's developed that nice cured red color all throughout. What we're left with is the point here that will be turning into pastrami, and of course that more lean flat that'll be used for corned beef. For the pastrami point side, adding on a salt-free pastrami rub, all sorts of bold flavors like coriander, allspice, and mustard. And we'll get this pastrami point on the grill. Now while that smokes, we have a very different process for the corned beef flat. We have some cold water here that'll combine with some pickling spice. Now we'll just gently place in the brisket. We'll let this come up to a boil. And now that we're boiling, we'll bring it down to a simmer to let it finish cooking. And just like that, both sides of our brisket should be done, starting with our corned beef and of course our smoked pastrami point. As you can see visually, two very different looking final preparations despite the similar initial curing step. Beautiful dark bark on the smoked pastrami and a muted, almost bland looking finish to the simmered corned beef. And we'll
Bro,
start
this
by
video was a
slicing into the
mistake.
corned
I am
beef.
so
There's a lot of
hungry.
work that went into this. I hope
I'm
it
so
came out okay.
hungry.
Even though it was simmered, cooked with
24
similar tenderness
plus
as a smoked brisket and some nice thin slices. And it's finally time we move on.
31 hours into the
The
fast
outside
right
looks
now. We're
almost
31 hours
identical
in.
to a normal Texas
We're halfway. We're at the halfway
inside
point. I'm
is
watching a video like this. I am not a clever
a
man.
beautiful dark red hue from the cure. Don't worry, this is definitely not raw. It's been cooked to 205 degrees internal, and as you can see, it is
That honestly
looking
looks like the
extremely
best one he's made the whole
and
time.
let's assemble what may just be the world's best sandwich.
Over here whimpering like a puppy, dude. Tell me about it.
Thousand Island,
I'm
piles of that
so
corned beef,
hungry.
And some coleslaw. Now for the Reuben-inspired.
So hungry, but I have to do it. I have to get this water off. The water retention that I have from a couple days of bad eating just will not go away, so the solution is a fast. We're going to finish this fast, and then we're going to do ADF. We're going to do alternate day fasting all the way up until MeatStock. All the way up until MeatStock. I was thinking about this the other day. Depending on what's going on down there, I might actually fast during MeatStock. I might do it. It's so much easier than just trying to get food and like, you know what I mean? Like just being out and about at a big festival and eating around 1 million people and other stuff. It'd be easier just to fast the whole time, but we'll see what
Spicy
happens.
mustard, that smoked pastrami, and some Swiss that we get melty, and finished with sauerkraut. And
God
that right
damn it,
there
I should
is
not be watching this
Talk
right now.
about a beast of a sandwich.
I have goose pimples.
The best sandwich out there.
That might be the best of that. I've never combined pastrami and corned beef. They're usually things you enjoy separately, but together in this sandwich, it is unbelievable.
Layers and layers and layers of flavor.
Well, the big question is, better or worse than a Texas barbecue brisket? It's pretty clear to me. There is truly nothing like it.
Yeah, seriously, like that is the best looking one he
We're
made the
cooking this
entire
next
time.
brisket with lava, aka the Forge. Brisket versus
And you're not going to eat it because
2500
fiberglass.
sear. What could possibly go?
It'll definitely help the bank
Seasoning
account. Yeah,
simple
yep. This is already, I mean, this is going to be a very expensive trip. If this trip does not pay off content-wise, it's going to be heartbreaking. It's going to be heartbreaking. I mean, look at fuel costs right now. Fuel cost number 1. Fuel cost number 2, because we now have to take my full-size truck on a fucking 650-mile drive one way because, sorry, Chevrolet, but you owe us a part for our car for 3 weeks now, and it's still on back order, and I can't take my SUV that gets 35 miles a gallon. I have a vehicle that'll get 35 a gallon, and I cannot take it to Tennessee. I literally have to take a full-size truck. On top of that, my truck needs an oil change and a couple other things. So now to get my truck ready for the trip, my truck now has to go into the shop tomorrow. That's my day tomorrow. My truck's going into the shop, getting fixed, getting tires rotated, getting aligned, getting all sorts of shit that I would have been fine living without for another month or two, but now that we're going far, I have to do it all. This trip is becoming very, very expensive, very, very fast. All in all, fuel, hotel, truck repairs, stuff down there, spending cash while we're there, Gatlinburg wandering cash, Space Needle cash, all that sorts of stuff. The whole time we're gone, this is going to be probably a $2,500 trip. We're looking at 2.5 G's, if not more. If not more. It's going to hurt.
Black pepper. Next, into a vacuum bag, because this is actually going to be a 2-step cooking process. And we'll get this in the sous vide bath.
I'm going to be brutally honest. If we didn't get tickets offered to us because of my content, there's no way I can make this happen.
Just like
There's
that,
no way I
our
can make it
24
happen. The
hours
tickets are fucking, the weekend pass for
sous
MeatStock's
vide
like
at
$300.
145
It's like $300 per
Brisket is
ticket.
Not only
Not even for a set of tickets.
but
Per ticket,
given that
$300 for the
long
weekend.
length of time, it should also be fully tenderized. And with that, let's get it on the forge. What is of course missing is the sear, which is where step 2 comes in. Safety first, and let's see what happens. Well, that did not take very long. Literally 10 seconds on the heat, and that fat cap just started absolutely going up in flames from all those oils.
That's great, but you don't eat that because of the fiberglass.
Is it burnt or just a really great crust? We shall see. Let's slice. There's something missing for me when slicing a brisket that doesn't have any smoke ring whatsoever. It just kind of looks like an overcooked roast beef, but it does seem to have decent juiciness. Let's see how it is. This one should be interesting.
They're actually gonna eat it?
How is it, Kyle?
Pretty good.
Seriously?
What did you put on there?
How's the crust?
It tastes terrible. It's super freaking charred. It's like way too charred.
Really? That's shocking. I'm gonna be honest, Kyle, I wouldn't swallow that.
This steak sucks, straight up.
Better or worse than a Texas barbecue brisket?
Way.
I figure fasting, I don't think I can fast the entirety of the trip. Because you think about it, we're leaving very early Thursday and we're not going to be back till probably Tuesday morning. That's like 6 days. There's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday morning. It'd be a little over 5 days total. That's a long fast. A long fast while I'm on my feet having to make conversation all day and work on videos. And oh my God. We aren't going to breathe the brisket. We're going to eat it. And that's one way to do it. It's one way to do it. But yeah, I'm really
so much for watching. Be sure to
really hoping this trip pays off in a big way because we are spending a lot of money to go to MeatStock. We're spending a lot of money to go to MeatStock. And I'm also having problems. That's what I have to figure out tonight after I pull this out of here. This is what I have to figure out tonight is this laptop. I got to get this laptop all installed with all my editing software and everything else so I can actually edit videos while we're on the fucking road too. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. Proving to be a challenge, but I look forward to it. We're going to get it done. We're going to get it done. So we got our pump in. We got that going on. Wow, did I get one fucking like on this? We didn't get a single view on the post-announcing stream. My goodness, dude. My goodness. I have no idea how to grow on X. I truly do not know how to grow on X because my posts go to no one. Literally no one. Let's see. We'll find some other fun stuff to do here. We're going to go to 7 o'clock tonight, see if anyone else shows up. See if anybody else shows up. Cillian Bori over on Kick. Get the fuck out, you stink-ass bot. Goodbye. All right, I'm going to take a brief break, let the dog out, grab some water, and yeah, just take a breather. I'll be right back. Let's get some Jiminy jams going, and we'll see you in just a minute. This is from the soundtrack of Baldur's Gate 3, by the way. It's such... You could have spent the money on an Indian sub farm? Shit, dude, I could have done a bot farm. I could have done a bot farm all day out of that. Shit, 2,500, I probably could have pulled off a crypto scam. What am I doing? What am I doing going to this place? What am I doing, Benny Bob? Be back in a sec. Enjoy this song, by the way, it's so good. me come back. That's such a bop, though. God, that whole soundtrack is so good. We still haven't gotten copyrighted over it, so winning. Yes. Sorry, I get a tad excitable in the evening hours. I can't help it. I can't help it. Ba-da-da-lo. All right. What are we getting into? What are we getting into? Rockstar Long. Thank you so much for that follow on Twitch, by the way. I did miss that earlier. I know I'm not great at paying attention to these things. Thank you oh so much, though. Appreciate that. We see most of those. I don't feel like doing a pump because my knee hurts so goddamn bad. So let's see what else we got going on here. Google have something new that we did not see. No, Outdoor Boys, we watched that one. What's Sydney got? Oh, no. No. I want to see what Sydney's got. Fat activists are dying again. We're so watching this.
So many times, but I'm going to say it again. Are you surprised? Not really.
Oh, my knee,
Hi, my name is
dude.
Sydney. Welcome back to hell. Baby birds, I want to take you back a few years. It's 2021. TikTok is in full swing. You get on social media and everywhere you look, you see obese people in media or on the runway. Magazines you once enjoyed have big models on the cover. Clothing brands are obsessed with putting obese people in jeans. Rolls. And all the while, obese people are telling you that fat acceptance is good. Nay, it's necessary. That you will accept the fat rolls or you will perish under the weight of your own bigotry. But this could only last for so long because...
Oh, bless Sydney, man. She's so good.
Or gets them all in the end, I guess. I think the rest of us are mostly fine.
You know why being overweight is one of the smartest things you could do? Just imagine a zombie apocalypse and there's no food left. Overweight people keep all the food in their belly, therefore, they would live longer than people who aren't overweight.
Okay. How the fuck are you going to run from a zombie?
Definitely fallen by the wayside over the last little while due to a little fun thing, a little fun pokey poke called Ozempic. But before that, I'm sure a lot of you remember some time ago when a series of fat activists and fat positive people passed away from obesity-related complications. If you are wondering what constitutes an obesity-related complication, no, it is not one's own legs collapsing under the weight of one's own body, as it turns out.
It's breaking chairs.
Although I wouldn't really be terribly surprised to find out that that does in fact happen. No children. Instead, it is a person's heart screaming, "Please, please help me!" In a few of these cases, tragically, the people in question were actually trying to get themselves to a healthier place, which I feel like makes the whole thing extra sad. For a quick...
That's like my biggest fear right now is like the middle of my big transformation. Like the middle of my journey, my weight loss tale, everything else, I'm just going to keel over dead. That would be so embarrassing. I think about that every day if I'm just going to keel over at some point. You know what I mean? Did I wait too long? Well, time will tell. Let's hope it doesn't happen. Let's hope I get to carry on here, but we'll see what happens.
Kat Porzay, a fat studies academic and prominent fat activist, died suddenly in her sleep in March 2022 at age 42. She was a senior lecturer specializing in fat studies and a vocal advocate
Specializing in
the
fat
acceptance
studies.
movement. I
Okay.
don't want to make jokes about people who have died because I generally think that's in fairly poor taste. But on her university scholarship page thing that was written after she passed away, it says that she wrote about coming out as fat. Girl, you didn't have to write about that. We could see. I'm just saying. Jamie Lopez, a former plus-sized influencer and the owner of Plus Size Salon, who was trying actually to get her weight down, died in December 2022 from heart complications. And then we had Brittany Sauer, a TikToker and another former fat influencer-esque figure, who died in late 2023, and I think also from heart issues, although I'm not actually sure if that's public.
Just because I'm fat, that doesn't invalidate the things that I say.
Shortly before her death, Brittany said
Hey,
that
puppy!
she regretted binge
Come
eating
here!
and letting her body get this way.
I ruined my life with food
binge eating, and lack of self-care. And I'm hoping that it's
I don't know what you want. You have two options.
not
You sit
too
down
late
there and
for
be a
me this
baby, or
time.
you can jump up here.
Because life just seems to go on recycling stories and events and things that happen, and despite the
Come on,
rise of
come on.
Ozempic and people returning to being reasonably weight
No,
thin,
you're gonna lay in your bed and be a baby?
a
Okay.
bunch of fat activists
You little
and fat
grump.
acceptance figures, I guess, have continued to pass away. But people don't really notice anymore because it's not, it doesn't garner that much attention. Because, ladies and gentlemen, the body can only take so much before it just gives up. Because, contrary to popular belief, we are in fact not supposed to look like human-shaped bowling balls. No.
Correct.
Humans are not supposed to be round. Take that as inspiration and go for a run. Around April 10,
Can't, but
2026,
I would love to.
it was announced that Dolly Martinez, a participant on season 10 of the reality show My 600-Pound Life, had died due to, you guessed correctly,
I'm pretty sure there's been multiple people on My 600-Pound Life who just ended up eating themselves to death after a while.
digestive heart failure.
I like to feed the birds or the ducks. Sometimes I wish I was one of them because they just eat whatever as much as they can. And their moms
Yes,
help them
but
eat.
they're very
Now, if you
active.
haven't watched My 600-Pound Life, just don't. Very few people on the show actually choose to improve and keep the weight off, and it's sort of just like watching someone deliberately drown themselves. Although watching someone struggle to do basic tasks like getting out of a car without it turning into a medical emergency really does inspire me to go for a walk, so, there's that.
Yeah, I'm a little hungry. I didn't eat all day.
I'm thinking that maybe is a good thing. And maybe rather than pursuing food, you should be pursuing going to the gym. Maybe you should go and buy yourself a pair of good headphones and then take yourself on a walk or to the gym. And actually, you can do that too. You can buy some great headphones thanks to the sponsor of today's video, Raycon. What are you doing? I am listening to music, obviously, and you're doing that with a funnel.
This is
The
an
earbuds
advertisement.
with food addiction and her bipolar disorder. She struggled to both lose weight and followed the guided program that her doctor, Dr. Now, gave her. During her filmed portion of the show, Dolly lost around 40 pounds, which I am really bad at doing quick conversions, but it's 2.2 pounds to a kilo, so I don't know, like 20 kilos, 18 kilos, somewhere between 20 and 18 kilos, which was so far short of what was needed for the weight loss surgery that she was striving for. And from what I can tell, since her episode aired, she has more or less stayed like this since 2022. And somehow, and I'm saying this like it's surprising, it's not, this person has gained widespread attention and, lots of interest because of her giant size. Yep, that's about the size of it. Excuse the pun. Maybe don't excuse the pun. What's absolutely wild is that in January 2026,
18 have died
so
on it. That's
like
nuts.
4 months before Dolly
That's
passed away,
nuts,
the Daily
dude.
Mail published an article that explained how 18 former castmates on the show have passed away due to obesity-related complications. 18.
Which could mean
also,
anything.
Side note, this is the most diabolical spelling of Sydney that I've ever seen. I do not condone this.
Sydney.
The C is wrong. Get rid of that. In just the last year, 7 of these people have died. Although I should note, not all of them died from obesity. I think 1 died in a car crash. But the ones who did die of seemingly obesity-related complications include Charity Pierce, who died in January 2026. And to her credit, she did lose a ton of weight. She was in the show much, much earlier and in an earlier season, and was once called the world's fattest woman after weighing in at almost 800 pounds, which again, you guys do the math, 2.2 pounds to a kilo. That's heavy. One of the other notable women is Latonya Potain. Sorry if I butchered that. She died in May 2025, and again, this was caused by congestive heart failure.
It's the biggest thing, man. It's the biggest thing. I was very close. I was on a road. So, I mean, I was realistically on a road where if I had stayed the course last year and not decided to make a change, that I probably, if I had just kept eating like I was eating and treating my body how I was treating it, it's highly likely that I would probably be pushing close to 700 pounds right now. I'm willing to say that. I guarantee I'd be pushing 7. I'd be bedridden. I wouldn't be walking. Wouldn't have been good. It wouldn't have been good. Now, I'm not going to be able to regain a lot of stuff back that I want to, but Who knows? Who knows? Goodbye, TwitchBot. Thank you for stopping by today.
That reality television
I'm
is
still
absolutely
big.
built around
It's not a
showing
pun.
extreme situations and kind of extreme people doing extreme things. And in this case, obviously, it's about, you know, people battling obesity and whether or not they can and will actually lose weight and rejoin society. But like I said, it's dead set like watching somebody hold their own head under the water to drown. I think the worst part for me is I don't even know
It's what it feels
this is
like
trying
too,
to
Cindy. It's
achieve,
what it
because
feels
at
like
what
too.
point does this stop being normal entertainment and become something kind of grotesque, like a weird voyeurism of I don't even know how to describe this, because there is a lot of nudity because they like to show you that these people can't wash themselves. What is this saying? Are you trying to scare people out of obesity?
Thank God I never got to that point. I never got to the point where I couldn't take a shower or bathe or clean myself properly. Another 100 pounds, I would have been there. Another 100 pounds, I absolutely would have been there. But it's, it can get bad real quick. It can get bad real quick.
Which one is it, Doctor Now?
What this comes down to is simple. If you won't do the things you need to lose weight, how do you think weight loss surgery is going to make you lose weight?
I know it's going to help me lose weight because at the end of the day, I know what I want for myself.
The strain of severe obesity.
Dr. Now's fat himself, too. I would like to point that out. It never gets brought up, but Dr. Now is a porker himself.
18 people, for the most part, over the course of the last decade or so, have died from one show. One show about fat people, and 18 people from that show have died. That is insane. And actually, while I was looking into this, I thought, I wonder who else has passed away from obesity-related complications, who, you know, has a fat acceptance profile. And it really didn't take me all that long to find more.
Yeah, Dr. Now, dude, I can't stand Dr. Now. I can't stand Dr. Now. He's very direct with people who need to be handled in a direct fashion, but he's kind of a pretentious douchebag. I'm willing to say that. He's overweight himself. And yeah, I can't watch the show. I can, but I don't know, because it's a double-edged sword. It motivates me because I don't want to be that, but at the same time, it's very hard to watch. It's very hard to watch.
People, body positivity influencers who have died recently, which is very sad, to be honest with you. A woman called Mona Lisa Stephen, who is a Nollywood actress.
Mona Lisa Stephen.
Nigerian Hollywood? Wait a minute. How many people are in Nigeria that they have their own Hollywood? How many people live in Nigeria? 242 million people? What the heck? I wonder how many of these people, though, are scamming elderly Americans. To some people, that probably sounds mean, and to other people, that probably sounds like a joke. But it's neither me nor a joke, because I was so...
Remember the old one from the early 2000s? Your rich Nigerian uncle died, and he left you a fortune, but you need to send some money over to get it sent. Excuse me, I'm sorry, my phone is ringing. I gotta take this call quick, if I can catch it in time. Wifey has made it to work safe and sound. All is well.
But I was so radicalized recently because I watched this documentary called The Anatomy of a Romance Scam. I think I'll put the poster on screen probably. And it was about romance scams and how many Nigerians scam elderly Americans by pretending to be investors or pretending to be romantic partners. And they make literally billions of dollars. I did the math. It's probably somewhere in the realm of like 5 or 6% of the country's GDP is scamming Americans and Europeans.
Yeah.
And I don't know.
I'm so afraid my grandmother's going to fall for some stuff like that soon. We got her set up so she shouldn't, but I'm definitely concerned about it.
Do not have good discernment. No offense, boomers, but you do not have good discernment when it comes to people trying to take advantage of you. Just... You guys should definitely watch the documentary. It was really good. It made me so angry, and I genuinely called my mom and I was like, hey, listen, I know that you like to be on the internet and in your fun little groups and stuff, but please, if anybody ever asks you for money, do not give it to them, no matter how good their story is. Thank God she's still married to my dad, and my dad's like, What is going on here? Anyway, back to obesity. Mona Lisa Stephen, who was a plus-size model and content creator, died in May 2025. She, like many of the other ladies I've mentioned earlier, was very vocal about body image and self-love and body positivity. She made videos dismissing the idea of weight loss, and she promoted the acceptance of fat women and fat bodies. She passed away from what I think
I wonder what the focal point of that video is.
Diabetes complications. It's sort of hard to glean online, but from what I can tell, she died of hypoglycemia and internal bleeding, which can result from being diabetic, although no one ever said that she was. This is just, there's very little information. I also found...
Now with AI, you can't trust nothing. Oh, dude, no, you can't trust shit now.
Influencer died after
And that's now. Give it another 2-3 years, it's over, brother. It's over.
So far, she obviously...
That's why, to a degree, I'm kind of laughing about the time I chose to try and enter social media and do all the stuff that I'm doing right now, because in another year or so, someone could just have a bot farm spit out 500 copies of people like me doing the exact same thing, and I'm just done. You know what I mean? I don't know what else to do at this point, though.
Didn't die as a result of being overweight, but choking on food is definitely one way to go out. I hope it's obvious, but I've
only got till August to do this anyway, so we're gonna see what happens.
A crazy situation. Because what are the actual chances of someone who is overweight not dying from overweight, obesity-related complications, but rather from the very food that made them overweight to begin with, and the very food that got them into a place where they were advancing the body positivity cause? Like, that is, that's some irony. The thing is, it's not like people haven't started sounding the alarm about body positivity and how grotesque it is in the modern era. I mean, it's always been grotesque, but you know what I mean. I'm not sure how many of you remember, but a woman called Gabrielle Lascano went super viral a few years back because she announced that she was leaving the body positivity / fat acceptance movement, and she felt guilty for having ever taken part. In a series of videos, she talked about being fearful for her health and learning the hard way that obesity restricts you, and it also—
Hell, for all we know, I could already be AI.
The idea that, oh, I could catch a dick no matter how big I am, cause you to forget about your health and to keep gaining weight. Health is real. Organs—
What did she just say?
Kills you.
Don't let the idea that, oh, I could catch a dick no matter how big
I could catch a dick no matter how big I am. Words to live by, I guess.
You to forget about your health and to keep gaining weight. Health is real. Organs failing is real. Diabetes, heart disease, all that shit is real, okay? It's not fat phobic to care about your health. And if nobody else wants to say it, let me fucking tell you the truth. Love yourself at any size, wear the clothes you want to wear, but don't forget that your heart has to beat, babes.
She recently, within the last 2-ish months, did an opinion video with the New York Times where she reiterated how dangerous the fat acceptance movement is in this sense. And while she still wants people to be body positive, she doesn't think being obese is the answer.
Then, over time, I got heavier and heavier. I've always been an adventurous person, but there was a lot I couldn't do anymore. Yeah. Fitting into the seats on roller coasters, planes. I couldn't wear heels, my dresses wouldn't zip up. And that wasn't all.
When you're bigger, you might not be able to wipe as well as a thinner person. You can't reach because there's no space.
Some days I would look at photos and not even recognize myself.
At one point during this video, Lascano describes how the longer she was in the movement, the more that she gained weight. And honestly, she's not the first person who has said this and described
No, the more you're surrounded, literally, the more you're surrounded by people who are telling you it's okay to be like this, the easier it becomes to place that extra DoorDash order, eat some more slop, keep going, and keep thinking, I'm doing just fine. You aren't! You're going to die! Painfully and slowly. Actually, if your heart explodes from being obese, you're actually lucky, is the crazy part. You don't have to deal with the shit I'm dealing with.
This movement.
I started to wonder if loving myself at any size had become an excuse to ignore how big I was getting. I felt like I saw myself being brainwashed, essentially.
In my travels of the internet, I came to find out that, yes, in fact, unsurprisingly, lots of other women also view the body positivity movement through this lens and in this way. This woman, for example, articulates something very similar to Lascano, saying that body positivity ended up being a vehicle for accepting things that were actually genuinely not okay.
I think it got to a point where the movement, I was using it as an excuse to stop taking care of myself. Like, don't get me wrong, for a long time I really liked the message. Like, I think we all should feel good in our skin.
Excuse me.
But I think the narrative somewhere changed from self-love to just
Get fat like
complacency.
me, where you have to
And
King
I
Kong
found the
burps out of
movement
your
as
chest
an
so they don't get
excuse
stuck.
to sort
Yeah.
of let myself fall off the wagon a bit. And also skipping habits that are actually beneficial for myself. And for some reason, discipline was labeled as self-hate.
Another woman made comments here at the end of 2025 that fat acceptance became untethered from reality and the movement is actually just led by mean girls, which honestly, so true, queen. So true.
I was in deep with the fat positive, body positive, fat liberation movement for a really long time.
The fat
When I left,
liberation
I
movement, my
packed out.
God.
And that's because I felt like it got so nasty, so mean, untethered from reality, and that the goalpost was just constantly moving. A lot of people in it who I think encourage people to not seek medical professional help for health conditions, or just like flat out deny science and pick and choose when to apply science. I also think that there's a little bit of a victim culture within it that it has created.
You think?
And I think some of the leaders of at least the online movement.
I used to be one. I was never very vocal about it. But I always thought, going up through high school when I was bigger, or early 20s, late 20s, when I kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, I had the biggest victim mentality about that shit. I was never vocal about it. But inside my mind was always like, why did this have to happen to me? And I don't deserve this. No one else has to go through this. If I had spent half the time saying that shit in my head as I did going to the fucking gym, I'd probably have a six-pack right now. It's that simple. It is that simple. I promise you, it's that simple. It really is. It really is. And I'm done with this bullshit. I'm done with the bullshit.
Honest, are mean girls. And I think that because some of these people are creators online and have their income tied to it, they kind of almost become incentivized to create more extreme takes, right?
Since I last spoke about this specific topic, so many new videos have cropped up where people are saying that fat acceptance is a scam and it's a joke and moving away from it. And again, it's not because of Ozempic in this capacity. I think it's because people are waking up and realizing that this movement is miserable and bad for society. I mean, I'm sure a lot of them then go out and get Ozempic because that's their way out of this. That's their golden ticket. But
Ozempic's so generalized. I wish I'd actually talk about other things. Ozempic is for the treatment of diabetes. A side effect of Ozempic was weight loss. Ozempic is to regulate diabetes. It is not a weight loss drug. A side effect is weight loss. Actual semaglutides are weight loss drugs.
saying this, and I think I'm
Pet peeve.
correct, you know, I think that body positivity was always one giant cope. And I'm not talking about the original body positivity, which is accept yourself despite your flaws, yada, yada, yada. I'm talking about the sort of mongoloid, horrible version of it that we know and love today. And yet, crazily, in spite of this, it doesn't stop things like FatCon from going ahead. Yes, this is real. On their website, FatCon is described as a 3-day conference for fat joy. Fat joy, trans joy, queer joy. I think we need less joy, actually. More.
You know what? I know it just happened. I know it just happened. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. No confirmed 2026 event. Oh, it just happened. How would you feel about me going to the next FatCon? I would probably get kicked out with what I want to do, but I almost kind of want to try going to the next FatCon. Same venue, Embassy Suites by Hilton Seattle, downtown Pioneer Square, blah, 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 blah. Tickets are already on sale via Eventary, Early Bird, General Admission, VIP. 3-day event tied to the fat acceptance, fat liberation movement. Orders Pugnation and focuses on celebrating fat bodies, fat joy, community building, panels, workshops, a fashion show, marketplace, and more. It's billed as the biggest fat convention on the West Coast. Dude, I really feel like I should go to that next year. I'll be down another 100 pounds. I'll be able to fly by then. I really feel like I should go to this and like cause a scene. Not cause a scene, but like interview people and like say things that are going to get me kicked out, but be very truthful about it at the same time. I think that would be fun. I think that would be fun. I have no control, and I think a lot of the time its voice is louder, but let's be honest, kids shouldn't be so cruelly to other children for just being fat. No, and see, that's the thing. And I was never picked on for being fat. When I graduated high school, I was like 260, 270. I was like perfect 275. When I graduated high school, all I needed to do was go to the gym and like lose maybe 30, 40 pounds. And I would have been in the best shape I ever could have been in. I never really dealt with being picked on, being abused, or anything like that due to my weight. It was all just a voice inside my head. Kids shouldn't be so cruel to other ones. I do kind of agree with that. But at the same time, I think in a lot of ways it does motivate. It does motivate people to lose weight. And at a certain point, whether people pick on you or not, you just got to accept that you are what you are. And if you don't change, well, you're going to die, and not in a good way. I was always fat, by the way. You and me both. I was never extremely fat. I think I started having a gut and boobs probably around like 8 or 9 years old. I started having man boobs and a gut. So I always had a gut. I could show you right now. And it's funny because I know we've talked about my chin before. My chin is going to be one of the last things that goes away. I had a double chin. I could show you a picture of me from like 2005, either 2005, 2006. I was probably 285, almost thin. Like you're going to see my body and go, Jesus, dude, you're like almost in shape. Yet I still have a double chin. I would eat meat in front of them, but at the same time, I just want to go there and interview people. Not even to be mean, not to get kicked out, but I just want to go and interview people and ask them questions about stuff. You know what I mean? I think that would be a really good video. Really good video. Very, very good video. I think that would be one worth doing. I think that would absolutely be something worth doing. It's a long way away. I might be able to do that next year. It's not till February next year, although that would mean I have to go to Seattle, and I don't know how I feel about that. Not somewhere I want to go.
You know, to fix whatever is wrong with you. Surprisingly, FashCon is a relatively new event, with 2026 only being its second annual run. They're already advertising for 2027, so I guess they don't think this is going away anytime soon. But as far as how it all went, it's about what you'd expect.
Come over.
Where are we going?
Oh, around. It's a surprise. Do you like surprises?
I do.
Okay.
What the fuck am I
Our
watching
schedule
right
was
now?
also jam-packed with super fun sessions such as Express Yourself, How Style Can Empower Your Fat Liberation. And
What's a few days in hell? True facts, brother.
Running for local.
I don't even think it would be hell. As a man, I mean, at that point, I truly plan on, by February of next year, I plan on being under 200 pounds lost. Being in that convention as a man who lost 200 pounds to talk to people about what I did and how easy it truly was over the course of it. Like, dude, losing weight while I'm losing, this ain't hard. It's not easy, but it's sure not hard either. Like, anyone could do what we're doing.
Gender-affirming care as a
I think it would be
fat
worth it,
person,
though.
Navigating hormone surgery and lettuce.
Again, if I'm still in the content creation game at that point, because again, I have till August. I have till August to do this. Now, when I say I have till August to do this, I have till August to put the amount of time into this that I am right now. I have till August to do that. That being said, I'm always going to document my weight loss journey. I'm always going to put out videos on it. But starting in August, if this has not become a productive enterprise, I do have to go back to work. My year off from the working world needs to end in August. So hopefully this is going good by then. If not, you know, it is what it is. I'm still going to make videos. They just will not be as frequent.
About bondage, but I don't think I want to click on that. I don't think I want to click and learn about that on this site. That's going to be a no from me. It's never going to stop being absolutely nuts to me that people pursue trying to normalize that which is not normal. And I'm positive this has been studied, but I would love to know what guides this kind of psychology. What is the motivation behind trying so hard despite everybody dying, despite people pulling back, despite people objectively wanting to be smaller and thinner? What is the desire to persist with this? I want to know. I guess the clips that I've included here are probably correct. The ones that are asserting that fat acceptance and body positivity as we know it today are just massive roads to achieve complacency, because if someone's telling you that you're great as you are and you don't have to change, what would ever make you want to change and do better? So I think that those women who are making these observations are probably correct. And the other thing is that if you have in fact tied your finances,
oh, sorry, dude, it's so cold down here. I had
telling other people about being fat, then yeah, you are incentivized to keep other people overweight.
Speaking of frequent videos, what happened to Lion? Dude, I don't know, brother. I don't know. He's been quiet in Discord. He's been quiet here. He hasn't made any videos. Has he made any videos lately? Let's take a look. Where's his chat? He's probably, oh, if he hasn't been making videos, he's probably all the way down at the bottom of the list. Muscle. I need McCarthy. Where's McCarthy when I need him? I have a question for him about this guy. I have a question for him about that guy. Oh, what was Steven's channel? Was it just Carnivore Steven? I swear it was just Carnivore Steven. Oh, what did I do? What keyboard buttons did I hit? Carnivore Steven. There he is. Dude, he's doing all right. He had some 1,000-view videos. Almost 2K on that short. 1.4K, dude. He was getting views. His last one was 3 months ago. 3 months ago. What likely happened is, if I had to take a guess, is if you look into statistics of, like, I've looked into all the statistics, all the angles of making videos and trying to actually produce an income from it and stuff like that. The vast majority of people who set out to make content last a month. They make it about a month and don't get views and get frustrated. And I've got super frustrated a few times. I'm in a pitfall right now. I'm in a very, very low spot right now. My views have died. Like the last couple weeks here, my views have died. And that's just the name of the game. You got to realize when you're small, you're small. You're going to have fluctuations. I have stuff that's done crazy, crazy numbers. I also have stuff that hasn't done well. And lately, everything I've done has not been doing well lately, sadly. But it forces so many people to quit. I'm not going to quit. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep fighting. I'm going to keep trying to make something out of this. But a lot of people, they get a month in, 2 months in, and they aren't getting views, and they're not seeing money, and I get it. I get it. But the vast majority, if you were to go ask Grok, let's ask Grok right now, how many bow out in the first month? What percentage of new YouTubers quit for the 1 month mark? Okay, for whatever reason, Grok is under such heavy usage, I actually have to use it through X. It's still working on X, but actual Grok is not working. Threads, 36 to 37% of new channels stop within the first month. It's a big chunk. That's a big chunk. Oh, my stomach's grumbling right now. 31 hours in, my stomach's saying, please, please feed me. God damn it. Roughly 73% of content creators across all platforms, including YouTube, quit in their first year. Many analyses and YouTube videos claim most or 90% quit in the first 30 days or before uploading 10 videos, but usually motivational clickbait titles, blah, 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 blah. The dropout rate is very high within the first 1 to 3 months. They don't see fast growth. Editing and uploading feels unsustainable. Views, stubs say left. The initial hobby phase excitement wears off, which it does. Doing this at first, like every day I woke up just, woo, let's go make stuff. And now it's to the point like, oh my God, my shit isn't doing good. And I need to get back to that mentality of just make stuff. If it does good, it does good. If it doesn't, it doesn't. And that's where I'm at again. Look at Butter Bob. He was on years ago. Yeah, a decade. For all you know, dude, there's like, people have this mentality that they're going to jump on YouTube and spit out a couple shorts and they're going to have success. Like, dude, I almost had that idea in my head too. Look at Ethan Benyard. Ethan Benyard's a rare case. Ethan Benyard has 600,000 followers. And we're doing the exact same thing. We're making the exact same content. We're making similar videos. We're doing the same journey. We both lost hundreds of fucking pounds. Like, it's just the luck of the draw. It's like you can put in as much work as you want, but honestly, when it comes to content creation, there's a lot of luck involved. And my biggest videos, like I have an Instagram video that did 350,000. I have another Instagram video that did 150,000. I have several others, 10 to 15K. And the vast majority of those are because they got shared by bigger creators. Like, discovering me organically does not happen often. All of my big growth spurts were from like Sean Baker sharing me. There was a Brazilian carnivore creator that shared me down there that I went viral in Brazil. Massive creator down there with like 600,000 subs. Awesome stuff. And it's stuff like that. And that's why you got to keep with it. You just got to keep with it. And you can't go into content creation and video making thinking, I'm going to put out 3 videos, get millions of views, and be making money. Well, guess what? You get millions of views, you ain't going to make money. You're not. It's all consistency and accepting that no matter what you do, it might not become a financially viable thing. It couldn't. But guess what? At the end of the day, I've had 70 plus people reach out to me now and say that I've motivated them to start losing weight. And to me, that's the fucking win. That is the absolute win. That is the biggest thing for me. That's the biggest thing for me as I wander across the screen. And that's the biggest thing. Again, I set out when I started content creation, it's buried here somewhere. I have a list of things I wanted to achieve when I decided to start making these weight loss videos. First and foremost on that list says, if I convince at least one other person to start working on getting healthier, then I have succeeded as a channel. And we're now over 70 people that have reached out to me and said they started trying to lose weight because of seeing my content. You know how cool that is? You know how good that feels? Yeah, I'm not making money, and yeah, this probably won't turn into a career, but I've done something good, and I feel really good about that. It feels rough some days when the views aren't coming in and money's not coming in and sponsors don't want you and stuff like that, but I've done something good here and I feel really good about it. So, hey, it becomes financially viable. This becomes a career path or something awesome. If not, I succeeded at what I set out to do and I am more than happy with that.
That is a crazy thing to realize. Wow.
Hey, just your fat best friend, your fat influencer, your body positive bestie to jump on and let you know you're not on your own. You're not alone. There are still at least a dozen of us out there who are here, who are still trying to keep, open and safe spaces for bigger people.
So I definitely think that there are way fewer people making this sort of fat acceptance online content because so many people have left the movement. So many people have lost a bunch of weight and no longer fit into the movement.
Well, they all left the movement because semaglutides and injectables came out for weight loss. These people who wanted to be fat and be accepted for it wanted to lose the weight. They just didn't want to put in the work for it. So now that something became available where they can just go take a shot every day and eat less and lose weight, that was a large chunk of them. A large chunk of them died. A large chunk of them saw how unhealthy they were becoming. There's so many different reasons that the fat acceptance movement is starting to fall apart. There really is. This diet makes you an apostle. I'm thinking about telling people I went vegan so the price of meat would come down. A bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see how it pays off.
They sort of get excommunicated. But the people who are left, man, are they salty. But I guess if I'm being honest, they always have been. And a lot of the old content that they used to make and still do
It's
now,
the sodium
to a much
content
lesser
in their blood,
extent,
Sydney.
always seem to revolve around stopping people from pursuing dieting or getting medical help or slimming down, all this type of thing, because they just perceive that as an attack on being fat and they perceived it as fat phobia. I've said this before, but I do think with a lot of social ideologies and social cultural movements, a lot of people just woke up to them and realized how corrosive they were / are, and or how stupid and ineffective this way of thinking is. I think the broader culture has completely moved on here, and I think that we're going to see the closing down and the slowing down of these niche micro online communities more and more as time wears on.
Good.
Until
That's what we want to
inevitably
hear.
we roll back around to them in about 20 years' time, because apparently everything just continues to recycle itself.
20 years from now, or when the Democrats get back in power, would be my guess. that would be my. Why am I moving the whole screen? Why am I moving the whole screen? I'm moving the whole screen. I'm not trying to move the whole screen. Oh God, what is happening? What's happening? Oh God, oh no, oh what's happening? I screwed my whole screen up.
In the meantime, and I do think this is really sad and really quite tragic, and it's, I don't take any happiness out of saying this, but I do think that we will continue to see more fat acceptance and more fat liberation. People pass away, and I think that those who understand what's going on will move away from these movements and will make better choices and inevitably slim down. So I think on a long enough timeline, naturally we will see the fat acceptance movement and all its other little offshoots shrink and shrink and shrink until really it sort of is no more. So for once, children, I think that is a bit of good news.
Butter Bob just went live. Oh my God, I wish I could host.
All of you, this is just
See, that's another problem with YouTube is like, I should be able to host over to him so anyone who's watching me can just transition into his stream if they want, but maybe we'll go check him out after this.
Reminder, check out Raycon using the link in the description. I genuinely love my Raycons, and I really do wear the bone conduction ones when I'm at the gym, or I do mostly when I go on my walks, wear the open ear ones just because I like hearing what's around me, and the audio's good. I make calls with them. I really like them. So if you are in the mood for some new earbuds, absolutely check them out. Now I open the floor to all of you. What do you all think? Are you on my side of this, where you think it's actually quite tragic that these people are passing away, but really it's kind of...
You should probably reconsider your decisions if the word morbid appears in your diagnosis. True
I'm not sorry
facts.
for these people
True
at all.
facts.
They brought it on themselves. What do you think of the news around the 600-pound life show? Do you think that it's insane that 18 people who have been on the show, well, I guess 19, including Dolly Martinez, have passed away as a result of their obesity and being so large? What do you think of that? What do you think the implications are as people get fatter and fatter and fatter in our society? Do you think that we should be paying closer attention and we should actually be ringing the alarm bells about how terrible obesity is? Do you think that this is just sort of a natural byproduct of the food that we have access to and how much people eat? And what do you generally make of this issue overall? As always, if you have made it this far in the video, congratulations. I always like having you along for the full ride. If you are new here and you're not subscribed already and you'd like to see
Sydney
more
makes
more of
such
this
good
kind of
videos.
content,
She really
feel free to
does.
subscribe to the channel, as well
I
as
do. I
leave a
aspire to
like
make
and a
stuff
comment.
like
Really
this.
do
I
read the
truly
majority
do.
of them,
I
and
truly
like
do.
hearing your feedback. Like I always say, my wonderful little chickadee people, I hope you stay safe and well and make good choices, and I will see your pretty little cute faces in the next video.
All All right. I think this was a perfect first night of the new bracket. It was still a very quiet stream. But we had a bunch of people through. We had over 30 people come through tonight. Not a lot of concurrence by any means, but we did really well. This was a really, really good stream. Super happy with it. I'm loving the new time bracket. Well, the old time bracket. This was our original time bracket, but now we're back to it. We're going to see how this goes over the next 2 weeks. If we do end up staying a lot busier at this evening time frame versus the day, we'll probably... What happened between her and the quartering? I have no idea. I can't keep up with it. I was going to say, didn't her and the quartering used to work together quite a bit? Didn't they used to make a lot of videos together? It was either her or someone else, but I don't know. I'm kind of the same way. I used to watch the quartering a lot. I used to watch Jeremy a lot, but I kind of just fell off. I fell off, man. I don't know. I'm not going to badmouth anyone. I just kind of quit watching his stuff. But this has been a really, really good stream. Really good stream. I'm super happy with it. I'm more energetic this time of night. Kind of gives me stuff to do right before I end up for the night and get to bed. So this is perfect. Again, we'll see what happens over the next 2 weeks with the evening streams. If they're going really well and they stay like this, we'll probably end up moving Monday over as well. But going into next week, we are going to keep Monday during the AM hours, just to see what happens, just to see how things turn up. But I am very content with this change. We had a lot of people through today, so super, super cool stuff. And now that we're getting ready to end, we got a bunch of people show. But it's been super productive. It's been really good. I love that breakdown of Sydney's we just watched. It was so good. So good. I might do a full reaction to that later tonight and put it out as an actual video. I might just do that because it just sounds like a good idea. But yeah, for sure. I'm happy we moved to evenings. I think a lot more people are going to have more access to come into the stream. Hope you all like the new shirt. Love the new shirt. Wifey got this for me. Wifey got me for this. Got me for this? Oh my God, I can't talk. Oh my Lord, I can't talk. I cannot talk. My brain does not work so good. See what else we got. Maybe we got something else we can look at quick here before we finish up. Oh my God, why is my stream spasming out? Or the webpage is spasming out. When you start, how long you going? We started at 4 p.m. I was just about to end it, but we can keep going for a little bit. We can go for another few minutes here. This is the new time slot. I forgot you're not in the Discord. I put an announcement out on Discord and the X and Facebook that I was changing the stream hours. Stream hours are now changed. Monday is still noon to 4 p.m.-ish. Wednesday and Friday are now 4 p.m. until ? But we've been live for, good God, I don't even know, a little over 3 hours now. It's been going good. Fantastic slot. Bucky Benny, the boys. We got the boys. But it's been a very good stream. As the webpage behind me is just having a stroke right now, and I don't know why. We can see what Voidzilla's got. Voidzilla doesn't really have anything new. He hasn't had anything in 6 days. Patrick Alexander's got a new one we could look at. And Billy Boy, Big Billy Bob. Scale Peaksies, I was 438 today. 438, but I was 445 yesterday, so I lost 7 pounds in the last 24 hours. And funnily enough, I've been fasting I just hit 31 hours of a fast. I'm 31 hours into my fast right now. I'm halfway. I'm fasting until noon Friday currently. So there's a lot of potential for me to be back in the 420s by weigh-in day. So we're going to see what happens there. That being said, I'm taking your idea. Sourpuss has been around a few times. Nancy's been around a few times. Both awesome people. Both awesome people. But I'm going to take your idea, Mr. Bucky. I'm going to do alternate day fasting. So I'm going to come out of my fast Friday. I'm going to have one big meal. I'm going to do OMAD for the next week. OMAD ADF. We're doing OMAD ADF until MeatStock, essentially. Until MeatStock. MeatStock is around the corner. You're 8 days into ADF. How's it working for you? I'm very curious because I'm going to take your advice on it. I want to try it out myself, but I'm very curious how it's working for you. Very curious how it's working for you because I am about to enter it myself. You shredding pounds on it or what? And what are you doing with it? Are you still doing like 2 meals a day or are you doing OMAD with it? I'm curious if you're OMAD with it as well. I haven't eaten in so long, my dog's little thing of treats I keep down here is starting to look appealing. Bro, I just want to walk around in the new digs. Check it out, my new shoes. My new shoes got here for MeatStock. Dude, they're dope. Look at the color, dude. I love the color. These things turned out so fucking good. You're doing a 6-hour window. See, that's the one thing I was curious about. I don't know if I'm going to do my normal eating window or I'm just going to do OMAD. If I do OMAD, it's going to be a massive meal, though. It's going to be a very big meal. But how's your results looking? You coming down on the scale pretty good or what? 6-hour window, few meals. Gotcha. Ooh, nice bugle solo. 42 sixes. Gotcha. It's a good rotation. I'm very excited to try it out. I'm going to do that until MeatStock. We were actually, funnily, we were just talking about it earlier. I might fast during MeatStock. Just to save us some money from eating on the road and also just not have to worry about eating in front of a ton of people and stuff. But we'll see what happens. We will see what happens with that. Bro, but I get to walk around in these. Look how much cushion there is for my knees. The color is sick. There's cushioning for my knees, dude. I love these things. Best $100 I spent in some time. Well, more than $100, but there ain't shit for under $100 anymore, I don't think. 6-hour window is better than 8. Yeah, 6 hours has been my standard window for a while. 6 hours has been my standard window for some time indeed. Lost about 10, also regular on the toilet. Last few times I ate big and instantly kicked everything else after eating. Interesting. I also want to fast just so I don't have to duke 3 times a day. I'm at MeatStock. I still have a very, very big hesitation about using public toilets. I hate public toilets with a passion. The only place in the last 5 years I have only pooped 3 places. My house, my parents' house, and the gym. I try to avoid it at all costs. I truly try to avoid it at all costs. So. Again, though, I'm really liking this new time slot. I'm really enjoying this new time slot. This is a lot of fun. Far more energetic. Far more things to talk about. More stuff coming out during the day. More to react to. I wish McCarthy would stop by. I have a question for McCarthy. I'm dying to ask McCarthy a question. Mo Pegasus. 10 pounds is huge, John. How long you been doing it? 8 days? 10 pounds in 8 days? That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. If I finish this 72 out and I go into ADF, there's a potential I could get under 420. What question is that? There's a carnivore creator. I hesitate to talk about it on stream because I don't want to call another creator out on stream and cause drama and shit. I don't want to cause any drama on stream about another carnivore creator. But I have a very big question about a carnivore creator if they're doing steroids or not. There's a carnivore creator that tries to say that he's like bulking out and fitness and mega all this other stuff, and dude's yoked, and I'm calling roids. It's so embarrassing. I ate OMAD, had sneezing because of the satiation, messed my shorts. It happens to the best of us. Getting close to the 250s. Damn, Bucky, you're almost at my goal weight. You were almost at my goal weight, brother. I need to get under 420 because 420 is going to be a big milestone for me. For a reason I can't say why. When I set out on the weight loss journey, I will say this much. I told my wife there was 3 things I wanted when I decided to lose weight. No, not Chaffee. Chaffee's natty as could be. Chaffee don't even look like roids. Chaffee looks natural as could be. There, let me scroll that up. Watch my scroll. All I'm gonna say, I'm not trying to start shit. Just, if you observe the clicker at the bottom left of the screen. But I asked the wife for to concede 3 things. 1 at 450, 1 at 420, and 1 when I hit sub 400. And I already got to the 450 mark, and I'm a very happy man. I get under 420, I'm going to be even happier. I get under 400, I'll be a god among men. All I can say about that, but again, 420 needs to happen. Sub 420 needs to happen. But again, like I said, I'm not trying to talk shit, start shit, anything like that, but I was just very curious. McCarthy knows about these things, so, yeah. God, dude, I can listen to this music all day. I could really listen to this music all day. La, 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 la. I tried gravity for 2 years. Have you guys ever seen hybrid calisthenics? Let's check out a hybrid video.
Early wins can keep you motivated for years, and here's how you can activate them to help
If you guys have never seen hybrid calisthenics, absolutely check him out. Phenomenal video maker, phenomenal calisthenic. Calisthenics? Calisthenics? I don't know if that's the proper enunciation or not. What's stream schedule like during MeatStock? I honestly hesitate to say what I'm going to be streaming, Bucky, because I don't know. I don't know what's going to be going on when. I promise I will stream at least once a day. I will stream on the ride down. I will stream as much as I possibly can, but I'm also going to be working on videos, trying to work on collabs with other content creators, enjoying myself, meeting up with a friend. I'm meeting an old Xbox buddy. It turns out a dude I've been playing Xbox with since 2014. His mom lives like an hour away from Gatlinburg, so he's going to meet me there. I get to meet an old school Xbox homie, so I'm going to have a lot going on, but I promise I'll stream once a day. It's going to be very, very hard to schedule when that's going to be, though. It's going to be very difficult to schedule when that's going to be, so I'm going to stream when I can, where I can, and we're going to kind of go from there. But I got my shoes, I got my shirts. Wifey had these shirts made. I'll show you this one. Wifey got these shirts made for us too, so we got some cool apparel to wear down there. My stream getting cut off, my cam getting cut off. Okay, no, I'm not cut off. All right, let's check out hybrid.
I would define an early win as an early small improvement that helps us tie our effort to results. So if you worked out last week and you feel better this week, that can be an early win, and you probably can feel that. Might be very motivating, empowering, or build self-efficacy, whichever one appeals to you. But wait, shouldn't we not rely on motivation, because motivation can be unreliable?
I love this dude. He makes such good videos.
Growth. While that can be true, my issue with that is discipline helps us do hard things, but not all hard things are worth doing. And having a small win to let us know we're going in the right direction can help us know whether or not something is worth doing or if we're on the right track. This doesn't mean things have to be perfect right away.
I'm probably going to shoot for either like late morning, early afternoon for streams, but again, like I said, it depends what's going on at the time.
And when we combine this motivating factor with discipline, this can help us delay gratification. And this is important because big results, big goals usually take big time. And it's unfortunate, but you probably know from experience.
I'm also hoping to do collabs down there, meet up with other creators, hopefully get a shout
You
out.
can sometimes spend a lot of time on something and end up worse off than you were. So it can help to have some reassurance and self-evidence that our efforts and the thing we're waiting for will pay off over time. And with that in mind, here are 3 ways you can achieve some early wins to help you. And the last one trips up a lot of people, but it's probably
I know, it's
helpful.
so close,
The first
dude,
thing
it's
you can
so
do is
close.
You can build and plan for consistency. And here's
So
what I mean.
close, and we got
Because you
screwed on our car. We got screwed on our car, and I'm so bummed about it. My fuel bill just went up like another $150 to get down there. I'm truly hoping something big comes from this trip. Early that 9th. We are leaving on the Thursday. What? We are leaving probably Wednesday night. I am dropping off Kenworth to my parents on Wednesday night. My parents have graciously agreed to watch Mr. Dog. So we're dropping him off Wednesday night, probably about 5 or 6 p.m. We're going to come here and immediately go to bed at like 6 p.m. We are going to... Shall we bow our heads? Me too. So we're dropping him off. We're going to bed the 30th. We are probably waking up at like 2 to 3 a.m. on the 30th and getting on the road. The vehicle's going to be all packed up, all ready to go. We're leaving on the 30th, which puts us down there probably around... I'm shooting to be there around like 2 or 3 p.m., somewhere right around there. So that should be our time frame. Check into the hotel, get all chilled out. We might go check out the town a little bit when we get down there, but probably not. We're probably just going to rest up in the hotel room, relax for a little bit because we're going to have been on the road in the vehicle for 12 hours at that point. And then Friday, 9 a.m. We'll be there Friday, 9 a.m. I might not actually go right at 9 a.m. There's probably going to be a big line waiting to get in right at 9 a.m. I might wait till like 10, 11 on Friday. Wait for it to clear up just a little bit, and then we'll kind of go from there. But I'll try as best as I can to get the announcements out while I'm down there, what we're going to be doing, what time we're going to be doing them. But again, it's going to be utter chaos. We're doing that, and then we got 3 days of MeatStock. Monday, we check out of the hotel at 11. Monday, I think we check out at the hotel at 11. From there, there's a town about 20 minutes away called Pigeon Forge, where Guy Fieri actually has one of his restaurants. My wife is obsessed with Guy Fieri and his restaurants and diner drive-ins and all that stuff. Oh, shit, yeah. Shit, yeah, dude. Oh! Allow me to scroll. I think I got music covered the whole ride. We're not even going to hear the same song twice. We're not even going to hear the same song twice, man. We're not even going to hear the same song twice. I got what on here? 790 songs for the road trip. I think we're good. I doth believe we're going to be good for music. And then, so we check out of the hotel Monday morning. I think instead of coming right home, we're going to go over to Pigeon Forge. We're going to get a meal at Guy Fieri's restaurant because Katie is dying to go there and get some food. That's the two big things she wants to do while we're there. She wants to go to Guy Fieri's restaurant, and she wants to go up in the Space Needle. Those are the two big things she wants to do. So we're going to do both of those. And we'll probably leave. We'll get food at Guy Fieri's restaurant, and we'll probably start heading home from there, which puts us back up here at like, Christ, I don't even know. Probably like 3, 4 in the morning on Tuesday, and then Tuesday morning I'll pick up the dog, and that's it. That's the whole trip. It'll be like 5.5 days by the time we're done. I am praying my knees stay in one piece. My left knee has been giving me a lot of trouble the last couple days. I'm hoping the new shoes help. But we'll see what happens.
Want to be consistent even if it's not perfect, because nothing will really work if you don't do it consistently. And I think whatever you have in your mind.
There's
whatever
its own
you're
Space
thinking
Needle.
of in general,
The big commonly known Space Needle is in Seattle, but Gatlinburg Space Needle. Gatlinburg has its own Space Needle. Aha! Oh, that's not a good picture. There you go. What? There is the Space Needle. There we go. No, what is this? God damn, Google. Just give me images. Yep, Gatlinburg. Gatlinburg has its own Space Needle right there. Gatlinburg has its own. I think it's around like 450 feet, something like that. It's a lot smaller than Seattle, but it still looks really cool. Wifey is dying to go up in it. There you go. Oh, Lord, it took me to Instagram. There you go. San Antonio has the Tower of America. Yeah, there's plenty of towns that have a tower like this. Pretty cool, pretty cool. Pretty neat indeed. Pretty neat indeed. Can't wait to go up there. Can't wait to go up there. And they do have an elevator. There's no way I'm going up 400 feet worth of stairs with my knees, so that's the way it be.
Do it for at least 30 days, even if it's not perfect. And I think there's some psych research. On the other hand, I would say 30 days is nice and round, and more important.
No, there's an elevator. There is one.
Of the actual stat. And the reason this is so important is because the consistency itself.
It travels right down the middle in between where those stairs are.
To yourself,
I thought the same thing at first, and I double checked on it. There 100% is.
And then you do it, you can feel pretty good about that. But also, this is kind of a cliche in fitness nowadays, right? Like what? Being consistent helps? Really? So what I mean by build for consistency is to set yourself up not for failure, but for success, and there are different ways you can win. And one of the things I would recommend is to have a light version of your routine, but have a core structure. So if you use the example of the routine we have on the website, each day only has like 2 exercises depending on the one you're looking at. And people are like, well, wait, Hampton, what about like push-ups and leg raises? What if I want to work on triceps? Like, what about my obliques and stuff? And the thing is, you can add all of those. I just think the core structure is very important, because if you plan for your workout to be an hour a day, I think you'll realize that most people, no matter how consistent, they're going to have some days where they can't quite do that. Either something comes up, or they're
He's a smart kid, man. He's a smart kid.
Resolve for consistency, and we know that being consistent can improve our idea of early wins, which in turn can help us be more consistent. So we want to be more consistent to be more consistent. So we want to build the idea.
Be more consistent to be more consistent. Yes, indeed.
Right. If you can't do an hour, it's not just a mulligan. It's just like, well, nope. It's going to be an NA on today.
We got a 3-story wood tower in Elk Mound. Nothing like that view, though. Wisconsin doesn't have the biggest hills. Nothing resembling mountains. I remember driving through Kentucky once. Yeah, it's gorgeous down there. I'm super happy that I get to go to Eastern Tennessee next week, because I've driven through the Smoky Mountains a couple times now. I've been through the Smoky Mountains, and I always thought while I was driving through the Smoky Mountains, like, wow, it is gorgeous here. I would love to go explore, but I've never had the chance to go explore down there.
Be consistent during that first month or two, because it can really help set that early win, is you can have some kind of plan for missed days. Because just about everybody is going to have some missed days, even with the light routine that I was talking about. It's just like when you start a job, you're going to have some sick days. You're going to have some days off, whether planned or not. So you can have a plan where you simply do the exercise the next day, which is what I do, but that may not work for everyone. For example, if I miss push-ups today, but I'm doing pull-ups tomorrow, then I would do push-ups and pull-ups tomorrow. And to be clear, that is more of a mental thing. You don't have to do that for optimal growth. You'd be like, I didn't really miss it because I actually did it the next day. So that's something that I actually did early on when I was doing push-ups.
The rolling foothills of Wisconsin.
Another thing you can do is you can have a preset amount of off days per month. And if you want, you could reward yourself if you don't use those off days. Because the idea is to stick to the plan. Right, so it's like you don't want to say like, oh, I have 3 days.
I really like the idea of this. I do, having a very, very minimal workout routine, something that's so easy to stick to that you can do it in like 10, 15 minutes, and then add stuff per day if you can, where you can. I think it's such a smart play.
This month, in addition to my planned rest days. These are just like 3 random off days. And you can say, if I don't do that, then I will buy myself a new t-shirt. Now, not everyone likes that idea of like, like go harder, get a reward. Some people say it messes with them. So feel free not to use those. Feel free to use whichever one you think can work for you. I just wanted to give different examples.
He's a wise young lad, a wise young lad.
So I won't spend too long on it, but you want to start with progression, weight, or difficulty that you know you can handle. And when in doubt, err on the side of being slightly too easy rather than too difficult. So a lot of people watching this are still working on their first push-up. And if you go like this and like, I can barely do it, and then you do 2 sets, do nearly as many as you can do, and just 2 sets of 2, and then 1, and then you
to be able to put weight on a knee like that again.
Better, but I don't really
all I can do is run to the end of my chain and bark.
So for one thing, you might not be getting enough volume with that to really trigger all the growth that you have potential for. Meaning that even if you're still doing 3 sets of as many as you safely can, if you're just doing like 3 reps total, that might not be enough to really get as much growth for what you need right now. And if you do an easier variation, just because I'm on the ground right now, you can do something like a knee push-up, and it might feel easier to be like, so I actually have added on like 2 reps since last week. And as you get stronger and as the exercise gets more difficult, it will usually be harder and represent greater growth.
You know, another big thing I'm still crossing my fingers on too is I'm really hoping this part comes in for our SUV. If this part could show up like in the next 2 or 3 days and we can get our SUV fixed, that would be huge. That would be very, very huge. I'm still like crossing my fingers that it happens, but we'll see. We'll see what's up. My truck goes in the shop tomorrow for this trip. It's gonna suck. It's gonna suck.
Rep. So it is easier to add on reps to something like a wall push-up, and it is harder to add on a single rep to something like a one-arm push-up, to add on a single rep when you're already benching like 500 pounds. It's not exactly how it works, but you can visualize it as in like, if you're just moving 15 pounds like this, what's 15, 30, 45, 60, 75. If it's 15 each and your ability increases by say 30 the next week, then you'll be able to do 2 more, right? This is a simple example. But if you're doing something that requires a total score of like 100, then you might increase by 50, but you haven't really gotten that extra rep. You might not be able to feel that, even though you're halfway there. You've actually grown more. You've grown 50 here, but 30 there. So you've made good gains, but you can't quite feel or see it yet, and that can be demotivating, especially early on. And once again, after you build these early wins, then you know, especially after months and years, you're like, okay, cool. It'll take me a while to be able to bench this amount. It'll be a while before I can do this.
Such a good thing to instill into yourself. There's no easy change. There's no easy change.
I know I can spend more time on this, and eventually I can get to my goals accurately and safely. And you can skip this if you already know, but if you want the progressions that we use, we put them on our website at hybridcalisthenics.com/routine. I know people have seen this before if you're a regular viewer, but every new video, every day, I get people basically asking this question of where do I start? And this is my answer that I've given over time. And since it's been around for a few years, it's pretty cool to see people now give reviews and say, hey, I followed this for several months or even several years, and it helped me get to push-ups, pull-ups, squats, and beyond, which I think is really cool, and we'll keep trying to improve it. And now we do have
anabolic steroids with Ozempic.
Beta that can give you
the one we were talking about? The one I was wondering about that I was going to ask McCarthy?
Cycle in September, which is a few days from when I'm filming this, so super excited about that. And the third and last thing that you can do to reinforce those early wins is you can measure what matters and have realistic expectations for that. And like I said, this one can help a lot of people, but it's also a little bit trickier, so I might spend a little bit extra time on it. And I'll start with an imperfect metaphor, and that is, let's say you start a new job. So that would be the metaphor for your routine here. A new job, you like it, you're excited to start.
Oh, gotcha. I thought you, the guy I wanted to ask McCarthy about, I thought you went and took a look and that was your answer.
In a lot of jobs, you get paid every 2 weeks, right? But let's say you
I put the roids in my left leg and I put the Ozempic in my right leg.
The next day you look at your bank account and you're like, man, it didn't go up. Right? In fact, it went down because I had to pay for gas in order to get to the job. Well, this job is not very good. It's clearly not working, even though I thought it would be good. But obviously, this is like, most people will be like, oh yeah, of course, right? You would just track your hours.
Oh, I hope the part comes in for our car. I hope the part comes in for our car.
Over time and your progress. So this seems obvious to us for something like a job. And even though it's not a perfect metaphor, some people unfortunately fall into this kind of trap when they're exercising. right? Which is why I recommend something like reps, which is a little bit more consistent, but pretty much anything you track will have a little bit of variability. But a lot of people watching this, their goal is, some people watching this, their goal is to lose weight, right? And they can adjust the things they eat and exercise as part of that. They get really excited about this new fitness routine. They're like, yes, this makes sense. I like it. It's something I can do. And that first day they go hard. They're like, man, I did all this exercise. I feel a little bit sore the next day, but I'm going to step on a scale because that was my goal. And oh, the numbers have gone up and I'm trying to lose weight. So why have I gained weight?
Inflammation.
Now, this is not uncommon for exercise. So if you've experienced that, don't worry. There's a little bit of inflammation, water retention, things that might happen the day after exercise, especially if you haven't been exercising for a while. And it's highly unlikely for someone to gain like 2 or 3 pounds of fat if you're trying to lose fat. So I'm just saying, don't worry. But you see how that kind of works as like the opposite of an early win. It kind of feels like an early loss.
Jardiance in your stomach?
Right, it's like, well, I'm moving in the wrong direction. Should I keep going? When you want to measure the things that actually measure your progress, and you still need to give that some time. I know the idea is like a fast feedback cycle, so you can go faster, you can see the victory. So usually I would like someone to see the reps increase on an easier exercise, like a wall push-up, and they can go from like 10 to 20, 20 to 30.
See, this is advice I've been given a lot of times too. When I do the push-up challenge on Mondays, people say, well, dude, just do wall push-ups and do 100 of them. You can do that easy.
Quickly.
I think there's some
like
merit
Monday
there. I think there's actually some merit to that argument.
For some people, like Monday and then Tuesday, right? Depends on the person, Monday and Wednesday. The exercise form, like how hard you went and how like your current conditioning, it will affect a lot of that. How fit you were before you stopped, or if you ever exercised before, that can all affect it. So if you're like, hey, I didn't make those things, don't worry, everyone's a little bit different. But that's why I like tracking reps. But even reps aren't perfect because you can be sore, you can just happen to be sore the next time you do push-ups and you measure that again. You're like, man, I just didn't do as many. But even though you measure under the same conditions, maybe the day before you had to sprint for a little bit and like you were sore, you just didn't feel it. So it's not quite perfect. And it's tough to find an exact...
It makes you piss off sugars, so please don't take one carnivore. True facts, dude.
If everyone could see their actual progress, I feel like a lot of people would be a lot more motivated. It's like, okay, that's cool. Well, I like my reps have gone down and I'm trying to lose weight or gain muscle, but I just haven't really seen it in the past couple of days, but I can see my actual progress line is going up. I feel like a lot of people would be like, I'll just put in the work.
It's a nice area wherever he lives. It's very pleasant.
Like, I can see it going up, but in reality, it's not quite that. So I was thinking about a way around this, and usually the difference is experience and knowledge. Right, so some people watching this are pretty experienced in fitness, right? So they know like, okay, well, I don't need to track day to day because I know the things I'm doing will work. But that takes a little bit, fitness isn't super complicated, but it takes a little bit of time to build that. So what some people do is they hire a trainer that knows what they're talking about and has experience coaching people towards the goal that you want. I know not everyone can afford that, but I think the two major workarounds, if you're struggling with early wins, what you're doing is working, totally fine. If you're struggling with early wins, you can either look things up and learn yourself, or you can hire someone else that knows. And that can give you reassurance, because the more you know, the more you understand about your method, the longer.
He's such a peach, dude. He's such a nice guy, man. If you guys, again, if you've never checked out Hybrid Calisthenics, definitely check him out. Worth a watch.
So I'm gonna keep doing this. I really hope this can help. Thank you so much for watching. Have a beautiful day, my friend.
He actually got his start. I don't know if you guys have ever heard of it. He actually got his start on iFunny. Of all places, his content creation started on iFunny. Wild west of content over there. It is the wild west of content. Crazy, crazy place over on iFunny. All right, my friends, on that note, we went for a little while. Actually, we went 40 minutes past when we were going to end. So I think that is a good end point right there. I can't stop listening to this song, by the way, either. What we got? Super busy stream. We had 37 people through. Not our biggest. We had a stream one time with like almost 100 people come through. But either way, I am super content with this new time block. Super content with the new time block. Very, very happy with it. Take care, you beautiful bees. Every one of you beautiful bees. Thank you so much for stopping by. Anyone else who is out there lurking right now, lurking is love. Thank you so much. Rock, if you are still over on Twitch, thank you so much for stopping by. Thank you for the new follow. Love to have new folks, new faces in here. On the Kick side, only bots. Only bots on Kick today. But you guys have a fantastic evening. I'll have to make you new music for the channel, brother. You send me a playlist on Spotify, I'll play the shit out of it. You send me a playlist on Spotify, I will add it over and I will check the whole thing out on the way down. We are going to have plenty of time to listen to music on the way down. 650-mile drive, and we now have to take my truck. We now actually have to take the truck because of a goddamn part broke on our SUV. It sucks. It sucks. We're going to have to spend an extra $150 on gas probably taking the truck down there. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. We still have 9 days. Maybe a miracle will happen, and who knows? Maybe tomorrow they'll call and say, hey, that part's ready. Bring the car in. You're good to go. But we'll see what happens. All right, you beautiful bees. Y'all have yourselves a beautiful evening. We'll have some videos out tomorrow. I got a very busy day, but we'll get some stuff out for you. Relax, enjoy life, smile, be happy, and we'll be live Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern. We will catch y'all then. You guys are amazing. Love you. And we'll talk to you soon.